Oh, hello.
I think we're live.
Woo!
Are we?
Yes, we are.
Yes, we are.
In 60 FPS, 720p.
Is that bad or good? I didn't do anything with the camera.
No, it's good. You can, yeah, it's good, man.
Yeah?
Yeah. Now we can play Dark Souls.
We can play Dark
Yeah.
Souls.
Trying to make
should
the other
replay.
camera cozy for us.
Cozy.
Yeah,
Oh, wait, I need to see how it looks on the stream.
it looks nice. I have to go around the cable for the
Do you
camera.
have the music on? But
Oh
in
yeah,
your-
music. Forgot about that.
I think that's about it. And when you got the music, you're all set. Hey, Torsten!
Hey Torst, hope you're not that tired.
Hey, Torsten.
I hope they can hear you well, Marian.
Wait, did I not upload the... I made another badge if you've subscribed for over a certain amount of month, but I don't remember. Was it like 6 months or something?
I don't know, just looking.
Maybe, yeah, I think so.
I think the music is fine. I can hear Marianne. Headphones on. Not that tired. Can hear.
Rolls.
Okay, good. Everything is good. I also put the camera so you guys can see a little bit of the studio. It's really nice outside, and we're stuck in the cave.
You look so tiny and...
I know, right?
Yeah.
Looks better, right?
It looks like you're like a little...
Hey, roll.
I was gonna say a little witch, but I don't know if that even makes sense.
I'm gonna start letting my hair loose and get used to it because I've been having issues here on the back because I always keep it tight so the skin doesn't breathe.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so I need to let it be.
Let it be.
Cave with big windows. I look awesome all the time.
You do.
Alright. So today it's gonna be special a day again. I've tried to fix the drawing a little bit. I'm not gonna make a perfect drawing. We're gonna talk about basic drawings, which is, why it's important to understand what a shape is, edge design, block-in sketch, cleaning up the block-in, cut out shadow shapes, filling in the shadow shapes while you're doing the separation between light and shadow and all of that stuff. I hope you guys can hear the music. I hope you can hear Marianne. Marianne?
Yes.
Glenn is here as well.
So sorry, I
Hello.
keep asking you because I have to control the audio mixer.
Yeah, I'm still here.
Glenn, your favorite person is online now.
Hello, Glenn. Hello, Glenn.
So let's just wait a tiny bit until everyone is on. I'm glad to hear. This is actually Wilhelm's idea. So Wilhelm can hear Marianne through his Discord, but his voice is connected to my computer. So instead of like buying headphones, you remember I already bought that crap of set of headphones. Sorry for my language, such a waste of money. I think the best thing we ever bought is the Bose microphones. God bless the people that helped us with that. Well, one person and the Patreon people as well. Will is my Swedish brother from another mother.
That's true. Glenn knows. He knows, he knows. Yeah, that's what I was gonna do. It's bit me.
I really overdid it with a figure this big. It's gonna be...
Yeah, you made it really hard for yourself.
I'm a professional at that. I have to admit.
It works fine though.
I think so. I mean, it will be fun for people to see. I have some stuff that I would like to talk about. I prepared, again, my homework.
200 plus IQ move.
Let's just wait 5 more minutes, depending on how many people will come online. Otherwise, we will continue. I also had a very interesting talk with Marianne after the stream yesterday. And
Yesterday, last week, you mean?
last week.
Yeah.
And I totally agree with Marianne when it comes to the idea of what is a sketch and how can we talk about, let's say, the very beginning of a drawing, which is like, how do you say it in English? Not stabilize.
You mean like how can we make it more predictable?
Yeah, like the beginning of a drawing.
Yeah.
What is that action? Okay, we can call it a sketch, but I'm starting to enjoy calling it a block-in sketch. And I have some examples, and maybe we can talk a little bit more on how we can, because this is the thing with art, you need to define what you're doing. Oh, what is this step? What is the step? And art is a little bit of a, let's say we already discussed that. It's a problem-solving process. But of course, there's ways of solving the problem, like what we call methods, right?
Yeah.
So before I continue, I want to let people know the sources that I'm inspiring myself from. We all share kind of the same ideas, and we can talk more about that one. The first book that I really like, that it's for free. This is actually a manual that Marianne told me about it. I even wrote to the person who wrote it, and I thank her so much. I think she's from Canada. Is this one. This is online for free, everyone. I really suggest to you guys, you know, if you want to learn more about drawing, she's a very good beginning teacher. Of course, everybody has different ways of explaining terms. Like, for example, in her book, she says that the Korshad and the Terminator line are the same. I don't agree with that. I'm more on Dorian Iten's side. And yeah, so this is where I'm going to inspire a lot when it comes to what a shape is and also what value is, because I think she simplifies it really, really well. Marianne, what do you think so far?
Yeah.
Yeah? So let's
Pretty much.
continue. Yeah. So let me show you guys model of versus Dorian Iten. Did I add this one here? I think I forgot to add that one. I just want to show you guys a little, I think it's here, but I don't remember what I called it. I want to show you guys, this is something I did with a private student last week on Saturday, and I also shared it on the Patreon, but I want to talk about it because someone from the Patreon said that that was a very good thing to do.
Yo.
Yes.
Yo.
Let me, blocking sketch final image. Was it called like that? No. Okay, let's just take that one. The image is gonna be huge. I'm deeply sorry. We will solve it. So Marianne, if you can look at this picture I did here, this is when I realized how I want to call the very beginning, the first thing that we will do, which is, I want to call it a block-in sketch. And now we're going to talk about what is a block-in. And I would like, Marianne, if you can actually explain what a block-in is. You have the mic. Word.
Block-in is pretty much trying to get the main shape of the object that you're trying to study and try to use only angular lines and simplify every curve you see in a way that conveys the identity of the shape, pretty much.
Yes. So let's just say that you're pretty much trying to simplify the silhouette of your subject. A silhouette is pretty much the
and the silhouette of the shadow shapes and the silhouette. I mean, it's not just the silhouette of the subject, but the things inside the subject that makes it that specific subject.
We will talk about that because, for example, the book that I showed you guys, she actually explains that a silhouette is pretty much a shape. It's just that it's the big shape that all the other shapes will be a part of to pretty much build your subject. Because what we see is pretty much shapes. Hey, William. You're welcome to come on Discord if you want. The channel is free to join.
Hello, William.
Well, the channel, the group. So for example, I'm trying to teach my private student how to draw, and I started with a bark with her, and I noticed that when it comes to spending a long time on something, you have time to really look for what's wrong and stuff like that. But then I realized that she doesn't know how to, let's say, sketch faster or draw faster, let's just say like that. So I'm trying to simplify a little bit on how she can see things, because for example, the first thing you want to do is draw everything you see, but how can you simplify it? So we pretty much have exercises where we spend between 20 to 30 up to 40 minutes, because I work with her at the same time and I try to show her what she's doing wrong, how to think about edges of a shadow, simplification of, you know, certain details in front of you, like squinting, and we will talk about squinting as well. So the first image that you see, it's like a little kitty, it's draw from life. So the first thing is pretty much a blocking sketch, a rough idea of my subject. I had to be fast because, you know, it's in the moment. So pretty much like Marianne said, it's a little bit more complex. Like the beginning was pretty much built out of 5 lines, and not even 5, maybe 4 lines. And we talked about that last stream when it comes to the envelope. Like the envelope will envelope your silhouette, and you're trying to see that big blob on your paper. It's very abstract because it is. You're trying to see a simple shape that's very complex in front of you, and how you simplify it? Well, with style, how I would say. The second image is pretty much a more clean blocking, but with also separation between light and shadow. Note, halftones are not included, so I try to really be specific. What is shadow and what is light? And just cut it out and work with those two shapes within the silhouette shape and get it closer and closer to the subject in front of me. And then the last image is pretty much worked on accordingly to the time I had. I choose the middle value range, like a certain light and dark light, the darkest dark and the lightest light, and I try to create a gradation to it, and then try to simplify it and just draw the sculpture in front of me. And this is pretty much the end result I got. Okay, so let's talk about, so I specified this book, it's online, it's for free, please consider it. And let's talk about what she wrote in that book. What squinting does is visually simplify the values in the scenes. So squinting is like when you're gently closing your eyes, so everything kind of becomes a bit of a blur. So you have like almost shadows and lights, and the details pretty much
compresses the value. It compresses the values into like 2 or 3 values.
Yeah. Hey, non mem maga. Hello.
Non mem maga.
Sorry for butchering your name. Yes. Where was I? Oh yeah. But also be warned, when you squint, you also neutralize the color. But that's a subject for another time. The thing is that you squint at your subject to simplify the information, but open up your eyes on your drawing. And this is something that Richard Schmidt talks about when you squint. Don't double squint. You know, you don't want to squint at your drawing, and some people say that, oh, I squint also at my drawing just to see the simplification, but you're already simplifying it by squinting at your model. You don't want to double squint. What I also do, I don't only squint, I defocus my view. You know, when you really pretty much see blurry, you blur out your vision. And for me, that actually works better mostly when I paint, because when you blur out, everything becomes more sensitive. So you start seeing, without squinting, you're still seeing the color, and you're simplifying the color values within your subject. That's something I've done it subconsciously until my friend Marianne told me, if you want to be a better teacher, just analyze what you do and then keep mind of that. So I do defocus or blur my vision. I also squint. When you work with pencil, blurring out your vision is really nice, because you can really see if you darken an area too much, or you have points from the pencil, and then you use the soft eraser and you smooth out the gradation. That's how I managed to get those very soft gradations in my drawing, because I blur around just so I can see where I'm overdoing it or where I need to have it a bit more sensitive. I wink at my subject. You also wink. That also works.
Wink at my subject. That's so good.
Okay, so this is also something that's very important, and I'm trying to remind myself while I'm drawing, because I can also get very lazy, and we will talk about how to be creative with your own work by not just copying what you're seeing in front of you. That's actually really love the new educational twist the stream has taken for the past few streams, even though I lack my free brain cells actually know sort of what's going on in the process. Yeah, thank you. I mean, we will do this from time to time. I really want, if people that are on the Patreon, I know you are on the Patreon, like always communicate with me and let me know what you want. Like for example, there's someone on Patreon that wants to, that's curious of what retouch varnish does or what sunk in means. So I'm gonna maybe have a painting that's really sunk in and then stream that for you guys so you can see the difference of how the colors comes back. I'm not sure how to put it in words.
Oh, when you retouch varnish.
Yeah,
Create
yeah,
one of
like-
those videos.
Like
Yeah.
Ingela didn't know what retouch varnish is, and she's been painting for a long time. And
Yeah.
stuff like this, I didn't know either when I went to school. Laziness can be a great source for invention, can be very powerful.
Oh, Gibbs Santos and Hyperactivo DG. Thanks for following.
Thank
Welcome.
you. So let's see what else. I think her name is Miranda. I'm very bad with names. Miranda, is it? Let's
Who?
see.
Whose name is Miranda?
Marina.
Marina.
Friedman.
Ah.
Marina.
Fuerte frumos.
So let's see what Marina is saying in her text here. Okay, so let's continue. In drawing, shapes are a way of organizing and simplifying the complex information in front of us. So we talked about from big to small. We have the silhouette, which we simplified by understanding what an envelope does. And from there, we just keep cutting in, going deeper in, selecting and being smart about how to cut the subject in two so we can see proportions, maybe almost have it middle, half-half. You know, we're strategic when we're drawing. Shapes are the key to achieving a likeness of whatever you draw. That's very true. As when you get closer and closer to what you have in front of you, of course, with the shapes, it's gonna look like, if you're drawing an elephant, it's gonna look like an elephant, not like a giraffe, right?
Yeah.
Drawing the shape specific to your subject is what creates a likeness. This is true no matter what you draw, whether it is a still life, portrait, figure, or landscape. And this is the part I really love. That's one reason I enjoy saying silhouette. What is a silhouette? A shape. And I kind of laughed because in the book it's written a bit more funny. We can also recognize someone simply by looking at their silhouette. Have you ever thought about that? Like, I recognize people from very far just because I understand their silhouette. It's so interesting. And of course, what is a silhouette? A shape. And this is the interesting part. When you have filled in your shadow shapes, your drawing should already begin to resemble your subject. Of course, how do you do it when you have soft light and you don't really have that many cut out shadow shapes? Well, you know, there's difficulties in everything we do. Okie dokie. So, let's take example my drawing. This one here was basically done with natural light, but we do have some separation between shadows and lights. Like here we have a shadow shape, here we have shadow shapes, here we have shadow shapes. All of this will be, even the hair, because it's hair, but of course that hair also has an intensity and its darkness. Like this part here, that will be almost pitch dark because it's in dark. We will go into this one here. But let's just go through all the information I have, so then I can just start working on this one and we can talk a bit more about it. So we talked about this. Let's see what this one is. Oh, shapes are ideas meant to simplify visual information. I always try to remind myself this, because I find I started painting in a very, not weird way, but different than what I used to do, just because I noticed that it can be more efficient, mostly when I have a commission that I need to be a bit efficient and not waste too much time, let's just say like that, because I want to find ways to be more, what's the word for it? Efficient. And I enjoy both ways. The way I paint, I love all of them. And this is my problem. I enjoy working in different ways, which can be good and a bad thing as well. Then the next one. This one I got it from Paul Imbrenson's talks, and I just love what Benson said here. It's perfect. Look continuously at the whole picture, not at parts, and roam from place to place making adjustments. That's what the painting is, or drawing, is making adjustments. Don't look at one part too long or you will paint it too much in detail. The unimportant parts of a picture should not be minutely described so that they will attract notice. Do the values and let it go. Everyone, all of us, tries to get an effect by carefully describing an object. Go back again and again to the effect of things when you are looking at the whole picture. So this is something interesting because it depends what style you like painting. Either you're into hyperrealism or you're more impressionistic, which is more of the loose kind of way of painting. The drawing we're doing today, it's not hyperrealistic. It's more a focus of the whole, which is the general impression of light onto your subject, which in my opinion, I like this way more than the hyperrealism. I can respect the hyperrealism and I can find some very beautiful drawing or paintings that I enjoy, subject and even technical. But what I'm trying to say is that there are different ways of drawing and painting. It all matters on what you want from it. Do you want to be a hyper-realistic artist? Go for it, man. More power to you. Do you want to be more loose and just capture the essence of light? Well, you're at the right stream right now. I'm going to try to explain most of this stuff. Okay. So I also have stuff from Dorian in 10 and Stephen Bauman. Very interesting so far. Thank you, thank you. So we talked about Benson and Dorian in 10. Again, if you can afford to get his course on, sorry Torsten, I should write it down. I think he will write it already. Rendering?
What will he write down?
It's not the shadow course. Rendering course? Oh. Anyway.
Shadow and light?
Huh?
Not rendered.
No, it's... I keep forgetting. Shading
Shading.
course.
Shading
Thank
course.
you. The shading course from Dorian E10. I am on his personal site. So for example, I'm getting all the modules from his live streaming and I really want to get to be live when he's doing it. Because I can ask some questions. The thing is that I don't want to act cocky, but you can imagine how many people want to ask him questions and I don't feel like I need to. I understand what he's talking about, but it's good to have reminders of what I need to keep focus on. So for example, this is a very good thing to know. What does the light do to your subject? Now we were talking with Hendrik before about Real-Time Engine 5.
Unreal Engine 5.
Is it 5?
I don't know, is it 4 or 5?
Anyways, what they have introduced is mechanic that helps the computer generate reflective light. Because before, as I understood, I might be completely wrong, the reflected light had to be like painted or drawn or kind of calculated by an artist to make it happen. Now, the general, this programs, technology is progressing so fast that you don't even know what reality is. This is not reality, this is like, no, I'm just joking. It's going crazy right now. So yes, now the engine can render more efficiently the light, so it makes it more real. Because without, for example, we have the reflected light over there in the right down corner. And that is actually a very important thing because without reflected light, the shadows would be pitch black. That's it. So thank God with how it works, because it makes things more colorful and more beautiful. So yes, all of this you kind of need to know, in my opinion, mostly if you want to draw from imagination or you have a very bad reference and you want to like understand what's happening, because let's say you have a very low res of a portrait you really like, but the shadows are almost pitch black, and you know how to manipulate the reflective light because you understand how the human head works, right? So you've done sculpting and all of that stuff. Lumen, it's really impressive. I really want to try it out, but my computer will just die. You need like very strong video cards, a very good processor and all that stuff. I don't know. Now I was shocked when I saw that you can go up even more than 60 gigabytes RAM. I'm like, hoi, hoi, hoi. And compute, like mostly now video cards, they're so hard to get. I know my boyfriend is still waiting on a PlayStation 5. Good luck with that. Good luck with that.
Good luck. It's gonna be a while, I assume.
Okay. This one here, I remember, I know I have Patreon, but I don't want to keep you guys for myself. His Patreon, Steven Bauman, it's really good. Here's the thing with this image, and I love this image so much. He shows you a little bit on what is shadow and what it's light. This is just perfect. I think, Mariana, I got a bunch of pictures from you from him. This one in particular I really, really liked. So you can see what I mean by understanding what shadows and what light is, and also the general idea of what a shape is, what a silhouette is. By putting those shapes in the right area, like a puzzle, you're pretty much getting the likeness in front of you. And portraiture is the hardest thing you can ever do. It's really hard. With a figure, you can kind of get away a little bit because it's a figure. Well, when it comes to the portraits, it's another story. But this is the beauty about understanding how to break this general what is drawing. It's pretty simple, but of course, it's the practice that you need to do. And that's something that I can't really teach you. You need to work on it. You need to watch people draw and then mimic. Understand what you're drawing and then keep mimicking. Technique, whatever. Keep trying that. Yeah, poor Hendrik. It will take a while. You could render light accurate for a long time, but it also took a long time, too much for a game. Excited for Unreal 5. I'm also Torsten, but it's gonna take a while until I will actually be able to play a game in that kind of Unreal engine. Yes. And then here's another one. I'm gonna leave for 3 weeks, but when I come back, I'm gonna talk with Wilhelm, and I would like to do a cast drawing live, and again go through all of the stages. This is Steven Bauman again explaining, you know, like a simplified blocking. This is more of a clean blocking, but obviously it's based off a blocking sketch because you always start with more, not rough or what do you call it, doodling kind of lines. You're trying to be very specific and try to keep the drawing as clean as possible. But let's just say that this stage is more of a clean blocking sketch. So you can see how he separated in the upper left corner, shadows and lights. Very simple. It's like Marianne said, if you look at the down left side of the beard, it's almost like a simple 3D object. Like if this was in 3D, it would just be one point mesh, or how you call it in 3D. Like the most simplest mesh you can ever go for. Maybe a bit more complex, I'm exaggerating. It's not a cube, still has some shapes in it. And the second one, I think the second one is brilliant because you can see how, again, he's not touching the half tones. He's just working from the shadows into the lights, identifying a little bit more the shadow shapes, even working with the edges to convey a certain form or a certain softness of the material. You know, it's not really just cubic, it's a bit oval. How do you say, like smoother, sculpted? I'm not sure the word. No. So you kind of learn the shadow shapes because I'm having a hard time finding the shapes. I mean, of course, when you're having someone presenting your drawing in this way, and then you look at the last image, this is one reason you can explain to people that there are some steps in between each stage. But it's very strategic. You kind of blend in between the steps. It's impossible to really do it like that. You kind of go in it. You can be very specific and show the students, but in the long run, you're not working like that. Like I don't really work like this anymore. Not in this way that you're seeing. I still have visually in my mind what step is that when I'm working on it, right? But what you're saying, Torsten, I'm having hard times finding the shapes. the thing is that this is one reason the bargs are so good, mostly when you're working with a teacher, because the teacher will try to teach you how to be accurate. He's going to show you the smallest little angle that's incorrect. And again, like for example, when I did this drawing, I wasn't like, oh my God, it's like I'm 1 millimeter off. It's just an exercise. So people that are going to this schools, right? I always tell people the first 1 year of those schools, they're torture. I'm not joking. Because you have to really put a lot of brain power in the first year, because that's when you're gaining the most important stuff when it comes to all of this freaking art. And if it was easy, everybody would do it. So what I'm trying to say is it's not easy. Being an artist and being creative and drawing what's in front of you is challenging, because you really need a lot of brain power. You have to constantly be like accuracy, shadows, shapes, the design, simplification, So it's a lot of energy. So the first year, I have students that actually celebrates when they're done with the barks, and I'm like, ha 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 ha, you poor human being. Oh, you think you're done with it? Good luck with that. Like for example, in my case, with I'm sorry if I'm talking about myself, but when it comes to my screen prints, ha 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 ha, you think I can just slack? Hell no, has to look like the actor, otherwise the client will be like, doesn't look like the actor, it needs to be like that. Okay, yeah. So this is when the accuracy comes into play a lot. So true. Honestly, bargs are tiring as hell, but damn so freaking good. Yes, and William is one of the teachers at Sara, and I love when the students told me like the top and bottom, it's gold. They got this from you, William. It's like the golden thing. You never move the top and bottom. You have to stick within those two, because if the top and bottom is a little bit bigger, and that's like the main silhouette, the main shape, then all of the other shapes within the barg are not accurate. Because of course the thing with the bargs, the way the exercise goes is that you have the barg on your left side. Even if you're left-handed, it's always on the left, because we read from left to right, just so you guys know. This is something Marianne reminded me of. So you put the barg on the left, like we have here as well. But right now we're using comparative measurements, and I really went overboard. I really complicate myself with doing in this way.
Yeah, I mean, this is really complicated, I was gonna say. It's like you've...
I'm showing off my muscle, what can I say?
Yeah, basically.
And what was I saying? Yeah, so basically you're doing like a perfect, if you look at my hands in the screen, they have to be exactly right next to each other, right? The top has to be on the same horizontal line, and the bottom as well. And this is again an exercise, because when I started the school back in 2010, I was like, I'm just copying, how is this helping me? But of course, whatever. It's an exercise. It's an accuracy exercise to develop your senses of seeing what's wrong and analyzing your subject, seeing proportions and getting the right shapes down when you're drawing from life or whatever, pictures, blah, blah, blah.
I wouldn't say it's only that. I think it's learning the abstract language of the visual perception or whatever.
Oh.
Yeah, please
so I
explain.
think it's a bit more than that.
Please explain.
I think by studying, you're learning the language from which our visual perception is made of. So you're pretty much analyzing yourself, and you're learning the signs that you can manipulate to represent reality or to represent whatever you want.
It's really nicely said.
So it's important to learn accuracy first and then play around with it.
And learning a language takes time. No pun intended, right, Torst? Goddamn Swedish language. Okay, let's continue from this one. Let's talk about values, right? Value simply means how light or dark something is. And I love the way she simplified this. This is again from, what do you call it? Excuse me. The online book that I talked about. So depending on how dark you choose your shadows or how light, you have a value scale, right? This is actually very true when it comes to grisaille, when you do grayscale. When it comes to color, it's color theory, but even there, you need to control the values. I think, Marianne, you understand what I mean. It's always a bit tricky with color and grayscale, contrast, and all of that.
It is.
Glenn is like, goddamn Swedish language. Amen, Theo. Amen. I don't want to know how Danish is. Den gamla vän. Oh, God. So let's go to... Oh, yeah, before we... I have 3 more images, I think. This one. I love this page. This is one reason I love teaching svenska språkjävlar. Yes. I can't wait to meet you, Glenn. This is something that I'm gonna print out and put on my goddamn walls everywhere, because this is the best thing you can actually have when you're trying to be accurate. Okay, so look at the focus glasses. This is Dorian Iten explaining the accuracy in his Barg video on his site. It's brilliant. Alignments, put the alignment glasses on. What is lining with what? Vertical, horizontals, angles. Where is that point versus that point? What's the angle? Is that one more to the left, more to the right? Measurements, put the glasses on. Okay, what's the head in relationship to this? Implied lines, you know? I can see Bornholm from where I live. Okay, I don't know what that is.
Bornholm is the little island.
Aha, okay, okay.
It's a little,
So for example, this thing here, I don't know, Torsten, is this one on Patreon, I think? With the links as well attached. I keep forgetting if this one is on there, but this is something that I suggest you guys print out when you're working on your Barg and stuff like that. My last favorite one is creaturizing. I don't know if I'm butchering the word, but that's amazing. Here's the thing with painting animals, right? We don't really identify animals as we do with people. It depends. Some people are very good at for example, with horses. My friend, your favorite artist, James Cooper, his sister, his sister knows which horse is what. Even though they might be the same color, she knows that that one is Billy and that one is Ellie.
well, yeah, but it's like for like I would recognize Misha in a bunch of cats.
Yeah, but Misha is very unique. My baby.
Yeah, okay, fair enough, but whatever. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I've seen videos on 9gag with this kind of Russian color, you know, the gray, and it's like, oh, I got my cat, but who the hell is this cat? And they look so similar, you know. What I'm trying to say is that when you're drawing something else than a person, believe it or not, but portraits are a better exercise of when it comes to accuracy than you drawing, I don't know, a still life. Okay, I will try to explain why. Because, of course, with humans, you recognize if you see an angle wrong, it's not going to look like Bob. It's going to look like Daisy. I don't know. So you have to be very accurate when it comes to all of that stuff. When it comes to still life or things that are a bit more abstract, the creaturizing glasses are perfect because you become playful. Believe it or not, but when you're drawing, you have to find a way to keep that inner child going. Even with portraits, let's say that you're working on the eye. And I usually like telling people, you're not drawing an eye, you're drawing abstract shapes, right? So you're putting the creaturizing glasses on, and then you start seeing, oh my God, that eye looks like a weird, you know, if you know the, I'm not gonna make this joke, but yes.
Okay.
It looks like an apple, or it looks like the car, I don't know. And then it's easier to draw that shape because you have easier times identifying the silhouette of a car within that shadow shape around the eye. So it's easier to draw it rather than go like, why is this not looking at the eye? Just be childish and see them, like Marianne said. It's like the abstraction in front of you rather than just what it is.
Yeah.
Oh, I love the creaturizing. I need to print this one out and put it on my wall because I have to remind myself. And then he has good habits, big picture, a mirror, squinting, shoot it, take a break. Take a break. This is the part that I'm so bad at. I don't know, when you're gone, Wilhelm, I'm gonna die. Someone needs to tell me
I'm gonna die.
I'm so
I
bad
like
at
how
it.
similar. Io sitting here
Demo.
looking at you work. Who is this?
I think it's my friend that I met in World of Warcraft. But I think he's the one. From Norway as well, right?
Are you the friend that Theo met in
I'm
World
sorry
of
if
Warcraft?
I'm butchering you right now. And then my favorite one as well, do's and don'ts. Here's another good example of, let's say, someone just showing a bit, you think, okay, sorry. Buna Alex.
Hey, Alex.
So for example, the image on the left, it's a good way of showing what is light, what is shadow. I know, I would never beat your rogue. No matter how hard I try, I will always be shit at that class. I think I was trying to beat you. No, you were an undead, so I was playing my rogue blood elf, and I just couldn't do it.
Whoa.
I don't think I beat him once.
Hey, man.
And then I just gave up. I was like, I'm too much of a woman to beat a true man, so I just gave up.
Whoa.
I made the joke. Fuck. No, I swear. Keep it professional too. Keep it professional.
You're 40 minutes in.
Is it 40 minutes?
Yeah.
Okay. It's fun.
It's fun.
Okay, let's talk about this image. So, for example, in there you can actually see that he really blown up the shadows, the lights in the shadows, and this is what we call over model. You're not squinting enough. You're not seeing the separation between the light and shadow.
I want to see this.
What do you say?
I want to see this.
Do's and don'ts.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a good example of understanding. Yeah, well, I'm just making a joke, Glenn. Women are amazing. Okay. And this is the picture that I'm afraid that we might get banned, so let's hope not.
No, but it's kind of censored, isn't it? You can't see much on...
No, there's another image that I really want to talk about, but maybe I shouldn't do that because it has to do with us getting into the model, into rendering.
Oh, well then
okay, if we go down, we go down.
Play on the safe side then.
Whatever. Here you go. Is this bad?
Nah, is it? I don't know if it is.
Alright.
Is it for artistical purposes? I don't know.
So here's the thing. The picture on the left is pretty much what I see when I blur my vision and also gently squint. So you see how simplified it is? And the image on the right is pretty much when the whole image is in focus. And of course, when you start working with the halftones, you have to find a way of drawing what you're seeing with open eyes, squinting down, being careful how much you over model. Because squinting can also be a way of resetting the information in front of you. So, for example, when we're gonna start working on our drawing, I will kind of try to go for the first image because I need to build that gradation. Because if I go in too fast and let's say that I'm gonna start rendering her rib cage, if the general value within that plane, let's say the halftone, let's say the belly, the abdomen. If I don't find, Marian, te rog să mă corectezi. If I can find the general value, how did you describe it, Marian? Not the general value, like the value that repeats itself the most.
What, the local values?
Thank you.
What?
Local value. This is very important because this will help you not overmodel. The local value is like seeing the whole and trying to find that middle value that you can just put down in one go. And I remember, what's his name? Colin Berry's husband.
Will St. John's.
Yeah, he talked because there were people asking him questions. Do you go from dark to bright or from bright to dark? And he said, I always go from middle to dark or to bright. Okay? So he always tries to find, and Sargent also wrote this, I think, in his notes. I don't remember when I read it exactly, but they also, I think, Duran notes when I was, anyways. I did the same thing. I tried to find a middle ground, and I tried to put it all down, and then I go to dark or to bright. This is very true when it comes to charcoal and pencil. With the way I work, I like to work in layers. So I start from a very grayishy tone, because you will see with charcoal, you really need to like push the charcoal into the paper, so you'll need to stomp it, and automatically when you stomp it, you're taking off the charcoal, and then you need to come again on top of it. So it's kind of like a layer building. Now, the same thing with pencil. I have a way of like, look at other people's pencil drawing, like the beginning, and it's kind of like blurred out almost. Doesn't really have that contrast yet, because they're working from, let's say that Imbrenson talks about it, and he said, draw your subject like it's coming out of a fog. And I love that. When I draw something, I try to see it as a fog, even though right now I have a different way of approaching it, and I want to be very clear with people that have seen my process. It's because I've done this for such a long time that I can control painting in this mannerism. I don't know if I have an example to show you guys. Is it here?
Trolls!
Let me find it. Just 1 second.
What's
If
up,
someone
trolls?
is writing something bad, I don't know.
There was someone who subbed us, not subbed, followed us as well.
Jaha. Whoever you are, thank you.
Relunai.
Welcome to the club.
It's almost better to not say the name. I think we're butchering them way too much.
Just 1 second. I want to show you guys what I mean.
I wanna know.
Let's see where the picture is.
If you want your name butchered, subscribe to this channel.
Yeah.
That's the best pitch.
Yeah.
Are you finding it?
Yes.
Nice. You've been talking so much already, damn.
Okay, be warned, this is a huge image.
Hello, anybody.
Hello.
Oh,
Here's the latest commission I've done. So what I did, I worked with charcoal and the general charcoal pen. I noticed that I liked starting with the charcoal, and the thing with the charcoal on canvas, it kind of gets off very fast. But I noticed the general 4B charcoal pen, it really sticks well to the canvas. So I was looking at Colin Berry and I was looking at the Grand Central Academy, and I got a little bit curious on how they paint. I know that I've done this before because it's a very alla prima-ish, and I remember painting when I was back in 2013 or 14. I was going to the Naturhistoriska Museet, the nature museum here in Stockholm, and I had this way of painting. But I wanted to have a very good drawing. So for example, the first image on the left up, I tried to get a very good drawing. And what I did, I used synthetic brushes because the canvas that I was painting on is very smooth. I've added another ground and I smoothed it up a little bit more because I don't like texture, so I always try to have less texture. I don't know what's wrong with my head. Nothing wrong with texture, don't be like me. Anyways, if it's barely any texture, if you're working with Bristol brushes, you can't do this in one go. I've tried it and I couldn't do it and I got frustrated, and then I was like, let's just use synthetic. So I'm starting to learn how to use synthetic. So I started with the eye.
You can do it, but you're gonna waste a lot of paint because you
Yes.
need to apply thicker layers.
Yeah.
Oh, I see.
And sometimes I don't want that because I want some transparency. So I still use the Bristol in some areas, but I apply it first with the synthetic and then I soften with the Bristols. So you guys can see how I painted this one. And it worked. But for a beginner, I don't know, the Grand Central Academy, they pretty much do this in one go. I don't know how they teach. I've seen people from the Grand Central, like I've seen Colin Berry doing a very generic big look and then starting from one area and piecemealing it. So I'm not sure what to say. But for a beginner, if I get a beginner, I will not put them in this situation too fast. I will teach them how to do the big look, like paint the whole, and let's learn on how to see what's in front of us and understanding values and all of that.
I guess otherwise you would also get obsessed very easily and you would not learn as much, right? If you just focus on small areas and do it like that, right?
It's pretty much what Marianne said when you explain about what accuracy does. Marianne, at the beginning, it's a way for you to learn how to communicate that language.
Yeah.
Okay. So before we go into the figure, any questions? I love the fact that I have Jeremy Soul over there.
Yeah, like he's just smiling.
Smile and wave, boys. Let's make him big here because, you know, he's been entertaining us for such a long time.
Jeremy, if you're out there, we love you.
Yes, we do.
Come say hi.
So any questions before we go in? Nothing. Then I did a very good job. Well, they're still writing, you never know. This
Save
is
the paint. Oh, I
bad.
love the figure emerging out of a fog observation. I will try to think about when I draw. Pen, pineapple, charcoal pen. What does that mean, Alex? I'm so confused. It's not butchering, you're being creative with the letters.
I stopped thinking for a while.
So you stopped thinking for a while?
No questions at the moment. Direct, like a true German. Okay.
You don't remember the pineapple pen meme? Oh!
There you go. Hello!
Sharkosen!
Welcome. I mean, welcome. Wait, that means that he subscribed?
Yeah! Thank you for subscribing.
Thank you for subscribing. I'm very bad with this stuff. But thank you.
Welcome.
Pineapple apple pen? No, I don't.
It's that, I remember now. It said, I got the pen. I got pineapple. And then he does this deal. Huh! Apple, pineapple pen or whatever. I don't know what he says. What does he say?
That's one reason I love this type of people, if I can say like that.
He subscribes and then he sees us to explain pineapple pen. This is content.
The stream is very, hello, salut din România, no problemos, treaz carta, bravo. Tema, avem un român.
Oh, no, not
My
another
people.
Romanian. Run.
Yes.
Run.
We have another Romanian, Vasile Marian, my friend from Bucharest. Well, say hi, Marian.
Why did you say wow?
Hello.
Wow.
I said well.
Oh.
No, because he's in Iași right now, so he's gonna go to Bucharest.
Yo.
That's what I meant. Okay, let's go for the drawing. I love the fact that the way I drew this part, I just wanted to make it, because, for example, the wee, right? It's a part of him. It can show you a lot of information. So I said last time on the stream that some people had issues with drawing the intim part, how I call it. Oh, intim part.
What the
I can imagine William laughing at it right now. What?
What did you call it?
Intim part.
Intim part.
I don't know how to call it. I just call it the intim part because of the fucking
Intim part.
Just say intim part. I don't know. Fără număr, Teo, fără număr. Exact. Uite how I'm like converting Swedish people to Romanian. Why should I learn the language? You guys should learn Romanian, right?
Yeah, this is how she gets us. 15 degrees in the drawing.
You call that a wee wee? It reminds me of that movie Kung Pao. I don't know if people know. Maria, do you know Kung Pao?
Yes.
Am I the only? Okay, I'm not the only one that knows that movie. And I love one of the characters. He's a man, you know, and he talks very weird. He's like, I'm a man too, you know. I do pee-pee standing up. I started laughing so hard with my brother. I was like, what are we watching?
What was the story of what did their funding get like?
I'm bleeding, making me the victor. It's so funny. It's so stupid. Oh my god. Oh, I love it. The wee is a good point to other things too. Okay, let's get serious.
Let's get serious.
Serial.
For reals, yes. So
Let's get serious.
yes, very cereal. I miss eating Cocoa Puck. So what was it called? I was always eating the cereal with the dog. The dog, you know, the dog.
What do you mean the cereal with the dog? There's no cereal with a dog, is it?
No, you had Nesquik with the bunny rabbit, and I
Yeah.
had another one called Choco Puff.
No.
Choco Puffs isn't a dog, is it?
Yeah, it's a dog. It's a Labrador. What is it, Maria?
Chocapic.
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 Yes, thank you. Merci. That's the one.
But it's not Cocoa Puff. Right?
Exact. Alex knows it. And my brother loved the Cheerios with honey. That was his favorite.
I never liked Cheerios.
Well, my brother was a fanatic with that.
Cocoa. This is.
Cocoa Puffs.
Yeah, I looked up what is the guy from Cocoa Puffs is like a yellow monster.
No, but it's not Cocoa Puffs.
Okay.
Chocapic.
Oh, okay.
Chocapic.
Chocapic.
Yeah.
Where is my sharpening tool?
I'm not sure if it's an international thing. It might be just a Romanian thing. I don't know.
That it was like a chocolate flavored cereal or like an off-brand of Cocoa Puffs.
I think so.
Where are you running off to?
There's one. I think my student took mine by mistake. Is it? Whatever.
Took yours what?
Mia.
Oh,
My
she
other
took.
student. Yeah, the.
No, actually, it's international, so You can find
Oh,
it everywhere in Europe.
oh,
Yeah,
Choca
it's like
Pikachu.
a chocolate cereal, like chocolate coated cornflakes.
ooh. I remember loving Frosties when I was a kid. That was like pure chocolate.
I love the
Pure sugar, I
they
mean.
were saying that, oh, it's so healthy to give this to your kid in the morning. And then people are like, my child can't stand still. Maybe they have, I don't know. Oh, give them this medication. And they kept giving the Choco Picky whatever in the morning. It's like sugar. What do you
Like
expect?
like Frosties.
Yeah.
Like it's actually like I remember if you just like the milk you have left from the Frosties just tastes like sugar milk. It's so sugary.
I can't he's coughing blood.
What the hell?
You're putting something in the water.
Pepu hey. Pepu hey.
Puche?
Pepu hey.
People, hey. Hey, hey.
Hey Pepu hey. It's
I'm
weird
like-
almond.
I'm missing charcoal. Where the hell is my nitro?
I don't know.
Mia. I'm gonna.
Did Mia steal it?
No. I mean, she took her stuff with her, but doesn't matter. So right now I'm gonna use the,
Okay.
and people say Romanian steel. Ugh. So I'm gonna use this Nitrom, the yellow one.
Yeah.
So what we're gonna do is like pretty much cut out the shadow shape. I will fill them. Let's, for the sake of the exercise, let's not do that. Let's just try to cut out the shadow shape. Let's see. Here is already kind of cut. I'm not gonna, you can actually include a little bit of this part as well because this is almost in shadow as well. It's very abstract, so shadow shape here, all of this part here will be... Oh, by the way, guys, I love printing out my reference. It's so much easier for some reason for me, because with the computer and all the references, I can scroll in and I have that screen, I have this screen, and both screens shows me different colors and different values. So if you're working from photos, try to stick with one photo. I mean, if you can handle it, go for it. In my case, having just printed out references and then... Oh, jeez. Ochoy 8.
Oh, hello.
Hello. Thank you for subscribing.
Welcome. Look, everyone
What
wants
kind
to
of tongue do you
learn.
recommend?
They're engaged in your
Hello.
learning.
People that subscribe, I'm leaving for 3 weeks. So I'm gonna do one live stream because I'm going on holiday for family and all that stuff. And Romanian family can be very freaking crazy.
Oh, okay.
So I will try to keep doing the live stream, maybe have more of a talk or conversation with my friends about art and do what we did today, just talking about it.
Yeah, we can do a live stream at my studio.
That's a good idea.
That's actually not a bad idea.
Yeah.
What we will talk about what gear you have and stuff like that. We can use the mobile as well.
Yeah.
Well, I will be back. I think the next stream, Wilhelm, depending on if you have time for it, let's do a cast as well for the people.
Yeah, when is the next stream?
Well, when I come back, and then Frank Top will also be here, so we're gonna have him on the stream as well. It's gonna be fun this summer. The Slave, yes. We're gonna have some friends coming in as well. It's gonna be fun.
The
Unsubscribe.
Slave.
Juke.
Unsubscribe then.
No, don't. No, do it. Okay. So shadow shape, shadow shape, shadow shape. We also have around here. Let's just try to simplify. It's so funny that I squint up the... Because for example, this master copy, this is the squint, you know, this is the version of what the artist wanted to tell me. Of course, this dude, you know, like around the, what do you call it, the chest area here, I'm sure he saw more information, but he opted to leave it out. It's an artistic decision. It's all about you as an artist. Of course, don't go crazy and make all kind of crazy stuff. I mean, then we're not friends anymore, we're done. No, let's put the image up. Okay, let's find the image so you guys can see what I'm working on.
Yo.
Documents. Oh my god, my computer is so full of stuff. I don't even know what I have anymore. Figure pose. Stream. Where are you? Oh my god, so much stuff. Desktop.
Yeah.
Documents. Work files. Teaching.
Yo.
There you are. Bloop. So we're drawing this beautiful man. What happened? Why did he turn around? Oh, oh, oh.
Oh, oh, he's dancing.
Oh!
He's dancing.
I was like,
No.
what's happening? Oh!
Why was he turning around?
What?
Why was he turning around? Was he shaking a little bit?
I have no idea. So let's just put them over there in the corner. Yeah, well, we have internet. We don't need to have stuff on the computer anymore.
I'm in the corner.
I think this is enough. Like I cut out the shadow shapes. Being in natural light, this part here is half tone, half tone. The chest area is half tone, so it's a very soft light. So what we can do right now is just add the flat tone. And you can see what I mean with the charcoal. I'm gonna zoom in and I will show you guys what I mean with this charcoal and how it looks like and why you need to stomp it down.
Shut it down. Stomp it down. Oh.
And charcoal is a very tedious material. So let's zoom in and you guys can see what I mean. Can I do this? No, I can't do this. My easel is like a little motor. So you see it has this roughness. What paper are you working on, Theo? The Canson Mitentes. And by the way, Marianne said that apparently Canson didn't really change their sizes. It's just that it was a shortage of paper. Because I was checking Zinkvit and they still have the 55 centimeters times 75.
Oh.
Glenn, not now. So you see the roughness? So again, depends on you. I usually use my hands. Apparently I have magic fingers. That's what I think the students at Sara were saying, they have magic fingers or magic hands. Why are you smiling at that? Oh, come on, you.
I'm not gonna make the obvious joke, but yes.
So, for example, again, what I usually do, I just clean up my hand and then I just stomp it down with my finger. Because you want to stomp it down. If you don't want to use your finger, you can use sponges, and I have some. For example, I don't really like sponges, so what I use is a Bristol brush like this and just flatten it down. You see, it kind of became more gray. And I'm using this one, and this is a soft charcoal. I'm gonna switch from this one to a harder charcoal at the point. So right now we're just adding another layer.
So what charcoal are you using? You're using
The Nitram Jumbo yellow one.
Oh, the yellow one, yeah.
Yeah, I don't like, in general I don't really use Nitram, I use Grumbachen.
Grumpis, as I called it.
And like with everything in life, it takes time to do this. And then after that, again. So you see it keeps going darker and darker. So this is how charcoal is. You have to be very patient with it. Oh, that'd be amazing, because that other paper they sent school, not only is it crappy to work on, but all of them were... don't get the normal white, get ivory white. I went to Creatima and I was checking the paper, and the ivory white, and also one of my private students brought in the paper and she said it's ivory white. It's a bit more tanned, but it doesn't have the annoying texture, just so you know. I'm gonna look online. I already sent Lena the company in France where they sell 75 times 100 centimeters paper. They just need to make the effort and order it. So then you don't have to color your paper.
Oh, I see.
Yeah,
Yo.
Torsta, I know. I mean, I have to, because you will see when you come to the workshop, this is just, it will be very terrifying, but you need to have the faith that it will come together. We will talk about it, William. I'm gonna go to Kreatima when I come back. If you visit Stockholm, we can go together and you will see that the ivory and also the fennel gray, so far, the texture hasn't changed. It's just the white that is just, ugh.
Yo.
Hey, Christina.
Hey, Christina.
Princess, of course I'm a princess. You know what's funny? My father, when I was a kid, everybody called me Prinsessa. I miss those times.
Yeah, and then they realize what you actually are.
Screw you.
Now they call you the beast.
For fuck's sakes. Yeah, I can be quite of a beast. Okay, let's just continue. Let's scare Torsten even more.
Scare Torsten?
This is just one way of working. There's many ways of working. Like if you look at the Grand Central Academy in New York, they also have a way of working, but they work with pencil. I don't know, they do charcoal as well?
Yeah, but this is the best way of working.
Yes.
Stop
Mostly at the
underselling it, Theo.
No, I think this is the, yes. Thank you, Marian. This is one reason I want to have you on the stream.
What did you say? What did he say?
He said that this is the best way to
Yeah.
approach it.
Everyone leaves.
By the way, these brushes, I ordered them from Mr. Jeff Bezos on Amazon, of course. I love them because they're quite nice and thick. Most of these brushes on your art store, mostly in Stockholm, oh, they're horrible. They're so thin. I don't get it. This one has enough fur. It's also natural bristle, and it does a wonder. I don't like the synthetic. Princess Tale. Well, apparently I'm the beast. Ugh.
Yes.
Need to break the whip out and whip you a little bit.
Yes. You don't pay me enough to lie.
That was a good one.
Hashtag free the slave.
Hashtag free the slave,
Yeah.
Yeah, apparently Wilhelm is the slave.
Apparently.
I don't know how that happened because I'm Romanian.
Yeah.
Should be the other way
Made a
around.
bad deal.
Huh?
Made a bad deal.
Yeah, you did.
Beauty
I
and the
guess the world
slave.
is changing.
What do you say, Marianne?
I guess the world is changing.
Yes.
Jinxed. So you see that when I'm adding the charcoal, I'm trying to, because I made a big boo-boo here, it's like almost cross-hatching. Try to be consistent with your line so you don't get cross-hatching when you're smoothing out the charcoal, just so you know. And the best exercise, if you want to start with charcoal, don't do something complicated, just do a sphere. Buy a sphere, put it in front of you, and just draw that. Don't go into complex stuff because charcoal is already very challenging. Should do more charcoal stuff. I need to get over how much I hate working with it. You know, their students, once they're done with the charcoal, they throw it. They don't even want to see it anymore, and they do pencil. I think charcoal is not for everyone. It can be quite of a complex material to use. I have moments when I despise it, and the reason why is that some...
The thing is, you can't find good charcoal in Romania, so
No.
it's quite frustrating to work with the willow one because it's a lot more unpredictable.
Oh, okay.
And also doesn't stay on the paper as well. I mean, it's good for certain things. Like, for example, I use willow charcoal combined with pencil on some specific kinds of paper.
Mm-hmm.
But it doesn't... It's not really used... I mean, I'm not using it for the darkest darks because it's pretty much useless for that. So the thing is, the best charcoal for working the way you work is the vine charcoal and what was it? Hard essence wood charcoal, which is Nitram pretty much. Vine charcoal is Grumbacher and Nitram is hard essence wood.
You can read what Christina is saying.
Yeah, Christina, I've been keeping my hair all the time in a ponytail, so I have wounds on the back and it's very itchy because I don't let my skin breathe. So I'm trying to get used, because I hate when my hair gets in my face. Now it's nice because I have the headphones and I also have my glass thing here, so it's keeping my hair in one place. So I'm trying to let it be because I'm losing way too much hair. Ah, Marcus, traitor. I love the fact when, you know Marcus from school?
Yeah.
He was doing, I remember he was doing the big figure in pencil, and I don't remember what he said, but...
The pencil and charcoal.
No, pencil.
He
Like
did it
the big one, he was doing it in pencil. I was like, it's fine, you can use whatever you want as long as you're getting the result we want. I don't care, to be honest.
Really?
Yeah.
Do you hate charcoal that much?
Well, I mean, I don't know if he hates it. Hate is such a strong word. You always make the shadow lines on the same direction in areas, or you go with the... right now, to be honest, Ocho, I just go with it. I mean, sure, let's say subconsciously, I think I did it this way because I understand that the cylinder is going away from us. Yeah, he really does it. He really hates it. Okay.
There we go.
Sorry, Marcus.
There we go, Marcus.
Because I know that this one is going away from us, so subconsciously, this is one reason I love Marian. Another thing, when you guys start learning art, be conscious of everything you're doing. Because by doing that, you are giving yourself a chance to know what you're learning. It's like with math. You have to be there and learn about the formula and stuff like that. And I think this will be the whole of your life. I don't think there's ever a moment when I don't learn something with art. When I slack and I don't focus on what I'm doing, I'm basically not progressing. I'm just failing, mostly when it has to do with accuracy. You can't really slouch. Slouch, you say? You have to focus.
No.
Damn, I miss being in an art classroom.
Slack.
To be honest, yeah, same.
Same.
I'll use the
Welcome,
ponytails
Andrei.
now. Thank you, Christina. What did you say, Marianne? Wilhelm?
What?
What?
I just said hello to
Oh,
Andrei.
hello. Who? Oh, Andrei.
Andrei Rafael.
I'm just gonna use my finger. I have magic fingers, so whatever. Go with it. Haters gonna hate.
He's gonna hate, man.
And of course, right now I should raise up the easel, but we're just adding the flat tones. The flat tones tend to be, like you guys see, there's not really the darkest dark yet. This is just what I showed you guys earlier.
Yo.
Is this one. So we're pretty much left up. We're pretty much at that stage. So we're going for the final result. I think when we're gonna do a live stream with an actual cast, we can really go for like explaining the big look, the full value range and all that stuff. Where are you guys streaming from? Sweden, on a castle.
In a fort, I guess it's more.
Which paper are you using? Which kind of paper is appropriate or recommended for charcoal? Right now, there's an issue going on with Canson white paper. I don't know what's going on, but I'm using the Mitentes white from Canson. Just so you know, Christina. I usually, when I do charcoal, I don't really work on white paper anymore. I work on Mitentes Fennel Gray. That's my choice of paper to go with. And maybe one day we will also have a stream where we're gonna work with chalk. So tone paper, charcoal and chalk. So you guys can see how you can approach those two mediums as well. And then hopefully one day we can experiment a little bit and do a mixed media. Like I really wanna try pastels with charcoal. I really wanna go for that again. Or what the Russians usually do, they work with charcoal and then they also kind of like watercolor it.
Oh.
It could be fun. I think we should try and do this sometimes. Marcus, how are you doing? Are you still in Skåne?
Yeah, where is Marcus?
He's
Where are you,
everywhere.
Marcus?
He's maybe outside like Uwe in...
Yeah. Tjenare mannen. He's just standing outside the window.
Yeah,
Hallå.
just looking. Oh god.
Let's go wild, baby.
Uwe is my favorite. Uwe and Frederick, my favorite characters.
Yeah, I like Mickan. Mickan I love. She's so good.
We will go wild.
Guys, I'm gonna exit the call and I'm gonna be right back. So I want to
Okay,
Marian.
super. Take care.
See you
Okay.
soon. Yeah.
Hejdå!
I have tried the gray Tentis. The gray? I mean, you mean Fennel gray? I mean, I don't know. I love Fennel gray. It's my favorite. And they all kind of have a little bit of a different texture to it. Like I feel that the white Canson has more of a texture than the Fennel gray. So you guys can see a little bit. It almost feels like it's coming out of a fog. I think if I would go and study somewhere, I would go to Imbrenson's studio in Boston. Because the way he teaches right now, for the level I'm at, I really want to do it.
Oh, yeah, he's really good.
Yeah. He had a talk about bards and stuff like that. I mean, I'm in between a little bit when it comes to this way of teaching bards. But it's always good to have an open mind. Okay, this is embarrassing. I'm gonna raise up the easel a bit because I don't want to kill my back. There goes the motor.
Yeah, it looks fine on the stream as well.
What do you say, Bill?
It looks fine on the stream.
Yeah, that's good.
Professor Pannkaka, Astrid!
Astrid! You have to text me on my phone. Oh, are you scared?
What?
I gave her my phone number. She hasn't contacted me yet.
Oh, she hasn't called?
No, I think she's
Well,
afraid.
she's gonna talk to a god.
Yes.
I'm a god. How can you kill a god?
Oh, I don't like that paper, Georgia. Not a fan of that one.
What paper?
The one that he's talking about. I think I know which one.
The
No,
one-
don't worry, Astrid. I noticed that it's easy to reach on Insta, so don't worry about it. Yes, I hope she feels miserable.
I hope you cry yourself to sleep knowing that Theodora Kappat
Hates me. So mean. No. I hate everyone equally.
I'm
enough.
I'm all right. Done a couple of commissions trying to figure out the long-term plan.
Oh, nice. Congratulations. Go for it. Love the way you paint those animals. I think this is enough. Let's see. So now, by adding... zoom out a little bit. Because we're going to talk about the stage we're at and what I'm trying to do. So for example, if you guys remember what was her name again? God, I'm so bad with names.
Who?
Bloop. Marina. So let's go back to, 1 second. Here. So when you have, so we are here. When you have filled in your shadow shapes, your drawing should already begin to resemble your subject. So at this stage, what I'm gonna try to do is basically keep fixing the drawing. Like I think it was Benson said, we are constantly adjusting. When we draw, when we paint, or whatever we do, it's a constant way of adjusting the information in front of us to be more accurate. Oh my God, Georgia, you're writing a lot. I can't really see the chat. Are you posting it on IG once done? I don't. Oh wait, you're talking to Astrid.
No,
Don't really
Marcus.
post anymore though. Marcus, right now, if I was you, do what you have to do to keep yourself safe, right? And just experiment a little bit, work on your portfolio, and when you have that portfolio, then you can post because you have enough contact so you can fight the algorithms. That's what I will do. Like for example, in my case, I barely post on Instagram, and when I do, it's like barely any, people don't really see it because, I don't know, shadow banned, whatever the hell is going on. Okay, I tend to have a very filled area of tone. I am bothered by small spots of white. So I try to fulfill every hole I see, and that's why I need a paper that can hatch pretty well. Are you using the right side of the paper, not the bubbly one? because there are two sides. You have, so right now I have the sides, and if I turn it around, it's more bubbly, just so you know. No, you can write. It's just that I'm looking at the here, so I can't scroll up to see what people wrote, so it's completely fine. Ignore my whatever I did.
You can't
It
scroll up.
doesn't
What do
bother
you?
me.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
I
I'm
see.
having it on the screen, so I can't really scroll to see. Okie dokie. I'm not a big fan. Like, if you look even at the drawing we're doing right now, let's see, where is it at? This one. I mean, look how rough. Oops. Just look how rough this is. Literally. Look at it.
Literally.
It's very rough.
Thus. Oh.
Look how simple and beautiful it is. Again, it all depends on what you want. Do you want to be like a hyper-realist painter or drawer? Yes, you need very smooth paper so you can get every little detail you see. If you're not wanting that, then you don't need that. You just need to capture the essence. I love the fact that Astrid is kind of like me. Oh, I forgot to post, because you're always reminding me to post on the social medias. I never keep track of that.
Oh yeah.
I'm so bad at it. All right, let's focus on this. Okay, we have the shadow shapes. I'm gonna look at my subject here. It's a little bit hard because my reference is not really in a very good position. Because here's the thing, when I'm standing in front of my easel, I'm skewing this one. So I'm seeing it at an angle. So what I need to do is like turn it a little bit parallel to me. I really don't know how to do it, but I will deal with it somehow. So I'm looking at this volume here in relationship to the light volume side of the torso. I'm trying to see how wide this needs to be in relationship to this one. I know that in certain areas around here and here, we have like muscles and details. I'm gonna leave it, I'm not gonna go into it. We will go into rendering when we achieved a sense of the big look. Again, the values, your light is light and your dark is dark and all the shades in between, depending on those two values. We have the white is white and we have charcoal, so we can really push in the charcoal in the paper to kind of scale up those grades, those value scales a bit. Yeah, I think, Ocho, I think we're getting it. I'm not gonna go for like the most accurate. I can try to capture the essence. So let's just go for the values.
You were talking so much today, I just realized. I have barely said anything. I'm just hanging out in the background.
Yeah, yes. But
yes.
I'm gonna be so tired, and tomorrow I need to meet up someone at 9.
Yeah, you're gonna be so tired tomorrow, and it's gonna be.
It's gonna be fine.
It's gonna be fine.
So when you're going for the big look, first thing I always suggest to myself is to find those dark places, and from there I can expand. So for example, I will actually do, of course, the print I have, it's very dark, and the artist already showed me the essence of the subject in front of him. We have a squinted, subject here, like he squinted at him. He didn't draw everything in the chest. He just showed what he thought it was important. So we're gonna go dark here. So you see, I'm like really just putting a dark part over there. Here is not as dark as there. From what I can gather, there's shapes in here, but for right now, I'm just trying to find a little bit of it. I'm gonna change the charcoal because I can already feel that with this one, it's gonna be annoying to render now. What I will explain if we're getting into it, when it's best to use the one I'm using right now, basically at the end. Because charcoal is very tedious and it falls off. So you want to feel the charcoal and build up those layers before you add your darkest dark on top of it. This is how I work. Maybe there's different ways. So let's see. This is good for midtones. Good for midtones. Good for midtones. So I'm like trying to get a piece of charcoal that will do the job. So again, we're gonna start from the core of the body. Like I said last time, this is where I like starting usually That's where I like starting with. Okay, so now we're gonna go for the soft, draw your subject like it's coming out of a fog. It's gonna look a little bit scary, but I think this will work. So I'm like protruding from the side, from the edge of the shadow, I'm protruding inside the light area, creating a certain gradient. This is what I mean with charcoal. I think Marcus is laughing so hard. Ha ha ha, feel the pain. You bee. Naruhodo.
Yeah.
So you saw when the charcoal had a little bit of a rock in it, I just, sharpened it a little bit just to get that rock out. When you're doing this, don't rush it. There's a thing that, when you do the big look, you need to do it in one day. Yes and no. Do it at your own pace. You don't need to lose your mind and do it in one day. I know that some teachers say, do it in one day. You can do it in one day. Look at the level you're at. What are you lacking? If you know that your drawing skills are not very good, still work with a big look, but just be careful with your drawing. If that's
so you would say aim for it to be in one day, but if it isn't in one day, it's totally fine.
Yes.
Yeah, there we go.
Thank you.
I feel that makes sense. Yeah, because I would remember it was always so stressful being like, you should do it in one day, and you never really did it in one day. Anyways, at least I didn't. I feel like it's also that pressure you're as well, where it's like you need to do it in one day, and you're like, but I haven't done almost any of these bookings. Like if you're a beginner, it's so stressful.
I made my test cast in one day.
Oh yeah, I know that story.
It sounded a little bit like me. You see that horse over there? I did it when I was 23.
It was so funny. So a funny story. Have we told this story? Me, Theo, and
just go for it because
Kalle,
I think it's fun.
a friend of ours. We went to the Soren exhibition, and me and Kalle, we were walking around being like, "Oh, that's such a good watercolor! I can't believe he did that when he was like 23 or something, whatever." And then Theo comes up behind us and is like, "Well, you know that really nice horse painting that is in my apartment? I did that when I was 20." And we just looked at her being like,
20.
"What? What did you say? What year?"
21 or 22.
Yeah, 21, I think you said, and yeah.
Yeah.
And it's just, I remember we were like flexing. What
Yes.
are you doing there?
I'm like one of those kids that goes like 20
Yeah,
now on
and
Instagram just to
and
make sure people know the age.
And
I'm
every
such a
time I
prick.
see that painting now, I'm always like,
wrecked,
"Wow, that's a nice painting. How old were you when you did that one?"
I love that I get roasted.
Yeah, it's yeah, but the fact that you were so serious, it was so funny. I still, the moment was so good. Oh, so good. Yeah.
You're lucky that we're friends.
Yes. Yes, I am. William is laughing. Oh, wow.
People will think I'm an asshole. No!
What, that you're an asshole?
Be my friends.
Well, it's true. I don't understand what it is to believe. Everyone leaves. Everyone went.
Men
What
va?
is it?
Men va?
That look.
Are you roasting me? This is, this is very masochistic. No, what do you call it? Like very sexist.
It's an educational stream. We need to learn many ways of life.
How to handle a woman and not make her hate you. By Wilhelm Schleiter. First of all, become
No,
her
that's
friend.
that's not the course. I would fail that course immediately. Put a blondie in your life. See? Mm-hmm. Put a blondie in your life. Yeah. Me and Theo have been listening a lot to the music of Revengeance.
With who?
Metal Gear Rising.
Oh yeah, that one.
Revenge.
The memes.
With all the, we've been watching all the.
Crazy.
Yeah, we were watching all the cinematics of Metal Gear Rising, and it's so good. They're not They can no longer fester our memes. We're all sons and daughters of the Patriots now.
Yeah, so funny. What's his name again?
Senator Armstrong, that's
Senator
the final
Armstrong.
boss, yeah. Standing here, I realize you were just like me.
Please, violence.
Yeah. That we are just the same. It's so good. I need the blood-stained sand.
Yeah, I'm like trying to like paint over there, and there's like violence
Violence
breeds
breeds
violence. I'm like,
violence.
okay, cool story, bro.
How's that? Oh, what's the lyrics to that? There's one song. There's another song. It's The Force of Nature. It's really good. And then yeah, Rules of Nature. There we go. Yeah. There's what's the one with like, I don't know why I'm here standing holding my blade or something. It's so edgy. The politicians say they're lying. So good. Oh, the soundtrack to this game is so good.
Just remember why I love Grumbachen.
Yeah, you're not having a good time over there?
No, I do, but I think I should have waited with using the yellow one, and I should have filled it up with the Grumbachen, because the yellow is still too soft, so it's kind of coming off when I use my finger. And as soon as the Grumbachen takes over, it's very easy to use the finger.
Oh.
So you guys see, it's like I'm building up the half tones and just going into it. Memes, memes. That's how we will say it in Romanian, memes.
The memes.
Nanobots. What did he say again?
Nano machine.
Nano
son.
machine, son. Oh, fuck. It's so funny. I
He's
love
such a fucking G,
Such a
man.
Chad.
He's so cool. Oh.
I don't write my own scripts. What did
I
he
know.
say?
How the hell did you get elected? Well, I don't write my own speeches. And then he smokes a cigar. It's like, what's going on?
We need to watch that again.
It's yeah. It's like motivational Monday. Just start quoting Senator Armstrong. Hello, Inken.
Hey, Inken.
Inken, you need to play Metal Gear Rising. I want to see your reaction to that game.
Did you finish Elden Ring?
No, I haven't played it in several days.
Talking to Inken.
Oh,
You're not that important in my life.
whoa, rude.
You see, all the time when I use my finger, it just comes off so fast. So I think it was a bad idea, in my opinion, right now for using the yellow. I should have waited with that one. So as a side note, use more of a harder medium charcoal rather than using a too soft one too fast. I mean, it's gonna be fine.
Still not far.
Oh no, I mean, it's the same thing in digital. You still need to control the values and all of that. Still not far. I'll be back in Berlin over the weekend. Can continue Elden Ring, then yeah.
Yeah, good.
Oh,
What is it?
the Brock. Splish splash, your opinion is trash. If you guys are wondering, Astrid is sending me like really cool memes. I guess this is memes. Memes. I'm so sorry for being rude. I'm just gonna put my phone. Astrid, go away. Just gonna put it on silent. Oh no, I can't put it on silent because of the boat. Damn it! Stop spamming me, Astrid.
Exactly.
Go away. Do you think that is copyrighted?
Yeah, 100% it's copyrighted.
Would I
Well,
be-
actually, it is a game soundtrack.
No, not the music. I mean, if we watch.
Yeah, if we watch it, I don't know, man. I don't know what the. the rules are anymore.
If we watch what?
We shouldn't. It's the cinematics to the video game Metal Gear Rising.
To Elden Ring?
No,
What?
to Metal Gear Rising.
It should be okay. It's a
Yeah,
game remake
yeah,
site.
yeah, right. Should put on the music.
We have the good old. We can raise up this one here.
What are you doing? I thought you were gonna play a Sora Star. A Sora Star.
We will play that too. Pancho Lynch, welcome to the Kaput Zone.
Hello. We had some other people as well.
Bish.
Badger Man, 1997. And Rangart, I suppose. Yeah, game soundtracks are usually fun, yeah.
I think Kalle was talking about using a stomp as well.
Kalle? Oh.
You see that right now I lost the belly button? It's because I'm focusing on values. So it looks very rough, but it's fine. We will get somewhere.
What do you mean? What the fuck is this shit? Rules of nature.
Oh, today is my cat Misha's birthday. She's 5 years old.
Oh.
Tomorrow I'm gonna... Mulțumesc, boss. She's gonna get meat tomorrow.
Oh no.
Yes.
Do you think cats have like a big concept of time? Like
What did you say?
a concept of time, you know, like
Cats?
yeah, like a big one. Like we're talking like years and months.
I actually don't know. Do animals perceive time the way humans do?
No.
Oh.
What? They would, yeah.
What?
They would be able to speak and do shit. They would be able to do that. Probably in the future, but not right now.
Do you mean that they would like plan like world domination because they're like we're in like a year or something?
That's the thing in our evolution. That's the thing that's contributed the most to our self-awareness and self-consciousness. It's pretty much the concept of time and our awareness of death. So animals are not aware of their mortality.
Boring. One day they'll
And
be
they're not
like, we could invade.
Incan said that they can perceive time.
Yeah, but they can.
Thank you,
like,
everyone.
short
I'll tell
amounts,
Misa. She's listening, and Papa Hendrik is over there with Mish Mish.
Then it depends on how we define the perception of time. I mean, they can look like they perceive time, but I don't think that's what we're talking about.
Then the question becomes, what are we talking about even?
I don't know. Cats?
What is time?
Time is the bringer of death.
Maybe time's just a concept of human perception. An illusion. Well, what is that line from the Don't Hug Me, I'm Scared song?
Bingo. Very much. It's
See,
a
I'm
human
big
fallacy.
brain by listening to songs.
Big brain.
By listening to songs, I've increased my brain power. I can animate.
Yeah.
Look at the intellectual conversation in chat about like perceiving time and shit. What is cat? What is cat?
Wow. What the hell? Dogs notice when they become hungry. By the way, Torsten, dogs also know when they're close to dying. My parents had a dog. It was so sad.
Yeah.
My mom said that the dog was completely fine, and then something happened, so the dog just went to its sleeping area. And when
Yeah.
my mom went there, the dog was dead.
Yeah, that's
So they
fine.
kind of know when something is off. I mean, dogs can smell, as I recall, cancer. They smell when people are getting close to an epilepsy episode. So I don't know how.
Can they do that?
Yeah,
That's
like there's
dope.
some dogs that are trained to smell when someone will have like I think it's epilepsy. I don't remember what I was reading, but it's like the person is losing conscious or something like that. They know when they're close, so they're trained to make sure that they that the human won't fall down and hurt themselves. So they use the dog as a cushion almost to just get down on the floor until they come back.
Well, I suppose dogs could be able to smell if someone's having a stroke, right?
Why is Gamora? Who's Gamora? If you know the reference. Okay, this is going better than I thought.
Dogs can smell your fears. Knows when you're scared.
Dogs can smell your farts too.
Oh yeah, they can.
Oh yeah, they can. I like that reaction. It's like,
Is that Henrik?
yeah.
Yeah, Hendrik is on as well. Boomhound.
Oh. Hello, Henrik.
Did you know that dogs can do advanced mathematical equations? And
Yes. That means that you're a dog.
and they
Down,
can
down.
they can single-handedly use an AC-130. All of this is true.
Oh, you fucking idiot. Cats sense earthquakes before they happen. Yes. Yes. Shut
Well,
up, Marianne.
that's because they cause
Why does
earthquakes.
Did Henrik get censored?
No, he's still there. But I don't know why Hendrik hates you so much.
I don't know either.
Did he get censored?
Did you do something to him, Hendrik? Marianne?
No, I think Henrik got censored because there's like a trail of stars in
Well,
his comment.
No, it's not. I can't see it in the chat history.
Hendrik, why do you hate Marianne so much? What did he do to you? I'm sure he's gonna write everything, so yeah, usually he replies with that. So much hate. I know he hates Romanians. I'm still wondering how the hell he's still with me. Ten-page essay. Dogs can smell Koninge all the way from Zealand. Cats can sense when you are in a weakened state, so you are more likely to give food. Yeah. Cats can sense dogs too. My cat is pretty dumb. I was walking my cat. Poor Misha. I was walking my cat outside and we see this fox, and the first thing that Misha wants to do is run after it. I'm like, how retarded are you? Can you not do it, please? It's just gonna eat you?
No. See what happens.
Yeah,
See what happens.
they're gonna become friends.
Yeah, exactly. So what are you in for?
Are you trying to be him all the time?
Who?
What
No,
are
that's
you
not.
in
That's
for,
not.
son?
That's just me doing it deeply.
Oh, okay.
Very five-head chat. Yeah.
It almost looks like Marianne, this guy. Like the way I'm drawing him, look at that, looks like Marianne.
My cat senses that my dog needs to pee, so be right back, friends.
Yeah.
Bye, Astrid.
See you, Astrid.
Did you know that dogs can
Yeah.
actually learn to pee standing up? See, you learn something new every day.
What the hell are we talking about?
Talking about dogs and what they can learn.
So I'm not gonna get stuck into the head yet. I'm just trying to get all of this
Wow,
big look
I
thing.
can't unsee this.
What?
It really is Marianne.
I know,
Look
it
at
looks
him.
a bit of him right now. I'll fix it. Sounded so bad.
I'll fix
I'll
it.
fix it. So I'm also trying to add like the local value. So I'm looking at the chest area and I can see there's certain details in here, but it's so hard to explain how I'm making all of these decisions. Like I said, it's also about practicing, you know the medium. It really is a lot of factors that plays in building up a subject. So it's all up to you to practice that.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think this one is on white paper, or it has a bit of chalk. I think it has a bit of chalk over there on it. Yeah, you can actually see it. This is a bit of a chalk in the chest area. Scratchy, scratchy. Henrik, are you finishing Monster Hunter yet? I think he's playing Monster Hunter. Oh, what's the time? Yeah.
It's not even that late, is it?
It's almost 8.
It's almost 8? No wonder I'm
Yeah.
getting a bit peckish.
I think if I don't finish this one now, we're gonna just do it on the stream again one day.
Yeah. Sounds like a plan. Sounds like a plan.
I mean, I really want to do like experimentation.
He's drawing, he says.
He's drawing. Ew. Yeah, I used that soft charcoal way too fast. Should have been careful. So, let's see. I'm not looking at the chat. I'm gonna focus for a while.
Elden Ring is an evil game? Yes. It's an evil game.
What do you mean by evil game?
I don't know, I think he means that it's like difficult. That's how I interpreted it.
Is it difficult?
I think it has some difficult boss fights, but I wouldn't say it's the hardest Souls game, I think, so far. I haven't finished it yet.
I haven't played that far.
No, I'm at the end right now.
Oh, okay.
Because I know Melania, the boss fight Melania, is like that one is actually really, really hard. But I think that's like one of the first ones when you really, that takes a while, I would say.
Yeah, I don't think I've reached that.
Oh, you're playing it, Marian.
No, I played it for a little bit.
Which is your favorite Dark Souls game, Marian?
I don't know. It's a mixture. I mean, I have mixed. It's Dark Souls 1 and Bloodborne at the same time. Makes sense.
Yeah.
I don't
yeah,
think
yeah.
it's like one. But
Yeah, I
yeah,
agree, man. I think Dark Souls 2 is so good. Dark Souls 1, I mean, sorry. Dark Souls 1 is really, really good. And I haven't really finished Bloodborne. I'm still waiting.
I think it has the best movie and the best story. Dark Souls 1.
Yeah, I agree.
I wish they would have done more with that.
Yeah. I mean, my list is, if I would list the FromSoft games, like I haven't, so I'm not gonna list Bloodborne and Demon's Souls, because Bloodborne I have only played a little bit of, and Demon's Souls I haven't played, but it's like Dark Souls 1, Dark Souls 3, and then Sekiro and Elden Ring on like the same spot, and then I would put probably Dark Souls 2 last, I think.
Elden Ring looks pretty fun.
Yeah, it's
I
just
mean, I don't know. it might take the first place, but I haven't played it enough to. The story is pretty good.
It's cool. It's cool. I just, I mean, it just, I think it's the the open worldness that doesn't capture me. I'm not a big fan of open world games in general.
Wow. Okay.
And I think that's why, because I really like the way the other games were, where it's like it's kind of narrow and then it opens up a little bit.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think that's the main reason why I don't really enjoy it as much as I enjoy like Dark Souls 1 and Dark Souls 3. Yeah, it's a good game. Good game. Matt, hello Matt. Did you finish that boss fight? No, I didn't. I haven't played it for a couple of days.
Do you say Matt?
Matthew.
Little Matthew?
Little Matthew.
My boy, Matthew!
He's here and he's ready.
Hello, Matt.
He's ready to fuck shit up.
Well, he's a kangaroo, so he will hit hard. So yeah.
Did you say he's a kangaroo?
Yeah, he's from Doggyland.
Yo.
Naruhodo!
Naruhodo.
You're getting there.
Jaha.
Jaha, jaså?
Ja, jag ser. Jag ser. Jag hör och jag lider.
By the way, charcoal is very similar if you would, like painting for example. It's very, in my opinion, artistic. Maybe that's one reason people don't really like charcoal, because pencil is more graphical and of course easier to handle. So I presume that charcoal is more tedious, which kind of forces you to be more expressive, I presume. I might be completely wrong, but that's what I notice. When I work with charcoal, I'm more looser. When I work with pencil, I tend to be more tidier. I might be wrong, but that's how it is for me.
I mean, it is more similar to painting charcoal than pencil, because it's pretty much the same process. You apply the powder and then you move it around.
Yeah.
And you do the same with. But I wouldn't say it's more difficult. I would just say that it's, once you get used to pencil, it's harder to get used to something else. So just changing mediums is harder in general. I wouldn't say it's more difficult.
I don't know. I use
Pencil
both.
is pretty difficult too.
I use both, and I have to say pencil takes more time, but it's easier. Chalkboard can be very faster, but it's a tedious medium. Sometimes it works for me, sometimes it goes against me. That's my opinion on it.
Yeah.
Pencil,
So you think
my God, you
charcoal
can...
is...
Say again, sorry?
Yeah, but I mean, it depends what you do with pencil.
Yeah, it's so much
I
nicer
mean,
because you can travel with it.
Yeah, working like, I don't know, working very tightly, it's easier. I can agree on that. But working loose with pencil, it's very unforgiving, because it's much harder to erase if you use like a 6B or an 8B and you just scratch surfaces.
I guess. Yeah, that's true. I mean, I have
And
a
you
way of
don't think-
working with pencil when it comes to... Sorry, what?
And you don't think it through very well. You know, like those drawings that I did on Bristleboard, those were very
Yes.
painful to work with. And I mainly use the graphite stick. So they're mainly drawn with the graphite stick, and it's completely different than working with like a sharp pencil or mechanical pencil, stuff like that.
Too late to the party, but cats can sense when tail like horse. Like.
That's true.
You need to write like horse, not likes horse, because I said it incorrectly when I did. Wait, Pete Dander, is that Pete from USA or Pete from France?
It's Pete from
When
USA.
you are going to draw a woman with penises.
Yeah, it's Pete from USA.
Pete from USA. I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe one day. I have a friend that said that he might ask me to do like this weird commission, but I'm not gonna go into that. Yeah, I love the graphite pens, by the way. They're great. Like, I have a way of working. If you remember when I did that live stream, and we were actually, I did that horse, because I like horse, you know, like Alex said. And I love starting in a more rougher way, and then, true, it's much harder to erase, so you need to be like extra careful when you're doing that. But I don't know. I think it depends on what I'm doing. Sometimes the simplest things gives me the hardest time to work and all of that. You think that, oh, this part will be still easy when I work on it, and then it turns out to be fucking hell, so yeah.
God.
Yeah, it really depends.
It depends on if you can maintain focus or not.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's something we need to talk about. How the hell do you maintain focus?
I mean, meditation helps.
Wait 1 second.
Helps be quiet.
Pete.
Helps.
Wait, Pete? Pete, are you the one from USA? Can you write in the chat where you're from exactly?
Yeah, he is the one from USA.
So he's the one
Yeah,
from
he's
USA.
the
Okay.
one from USA.
Okay, dokie. Thank you. Long time no see, Pete.
Who is Pete from USA?
I met him long time ago.
Oh, I see.
Mr. Anderson.
Mr. Anderson. I want my phone call.
Have you guys seen the new Matrix?
Nope.
Oh, I have not.
Nope. Never will.
Never will.
As soon as I saw that part in the trailer that he feels triggered, I was like, okay, not gonna watch it. Bye.
Yeah, I saw it. It's pretty bad.
It's amazing. That's when you're like, it's amazing. You gotta see it, Theo.
Yeah, I think I will see it when I'm very, very drunk. Yes, from Connecticut.
No, it's not amazing at all.
Sad panda.
Anda, hasta la vista.
Bye, Tarahashla.
No, I was curious if you guys seen it and if you liked it. Apparently not.
There's certain things I haven't seen. Ghostbusters with the women. I will never watch that. I will never understand it. What else? Yes, The Matrix. And I don't know what other stuff.
Did you watch? There was something I told you to watch, and now I've forgotten. The Green Knight. That's a good movie.
The Green Knight. Yeah, I think Alexa was talking about that, but
That's
I
a
never
cool
had the chance
movie.
to do it. He said that the visuals were amazing, but... fuck, I made a mistake.
But he didn't like the story.
I don't remember what Alexa said. I don't really want to say because I don't remember.
Yeah.
What do you mean?
I don't remember. He said that the visuals were amazing, but I don't remember if he said something about the story not working. Batman was great, Marcus. I mean,
the story was pretty boring, but when it comes to the artistic merits of the film, it's pretty great.
I think it was so fun. It was such a cool movie to see.
But like Marcus said, and I agree, we saw Batman as well. If you like, of course, I don't want to see, how did Hendrik put it? I don't want to see a superhero movie, but if you like, detective stuff, the latest Batman is great.
Yeah.
I actually watched it last night. Very, very boring. I don't like it.
Batman.
I think Hendrik will hate you even more now.
Thank you.
Wait, is mine? Oh, there we go.
I don't like that actor at all.
Robert Pattinson?
Yeah.
Why don't you like Robert?
No, but everyone was. Just seemed like no one was acting. Why did you guys enjoy it? Theo?
Yeah.
Am I missing something?
He's on speakers. Why is he on speakers?
Can you hear me, by the way? Yeah, it's actually working.
Yeah.
Oh, now
Yeah.
I can hear him. Yeah.
That was
Was
weird.
it mine? Was it mine who connected?
Yeah,
to
it connected to the Bose.
It's so weird. Anyways, yeah. What did you say? Everyone was so excited?
No, I was wondering what you guys thought about it. About the movie.
Oh, I can't see the chat. Damn
Oh,
it.
the Batman movie. I haven't watched it.
1 second, I need to see what the chat is saying.
Hendrik just wrote like a paragraph.
Oh God.
Look at this. Hendrik.
I think so too, what Marcus said. I thought he did a great job portraying Batman. I really liked it. Didn't expect much from him, true. I will only look these movies if a Gal Gadot appears in it, of course. She's hot. Bumham, yeah, the Batman was pretty good. Could have been edited a bit, like the POV, no idea, of the penguin in the car. Oh, the POV of the penguin in the car when Batman stops in front of the window.
Don't
They should
spoil
have
the movie.
cut to the next shot from the shot of the feet instead of Batman awkwardly. This is spoilers. Robert Pattinson was great in The Lighthouse. Apropos The Lighthouse, I really want to see Robert Eggers' new movie, The Northman. Yeah, I want to see that one too.
Yeah, we had the model we had is starring in the Northman.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
The Santa model.
The Santa man, yeah. What a legend.
The legend, the myth.
That was such a weird day.
It was. You were so angry. Jeez. He was amazing, but
He was a
talking
cool
too
guy,
much.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. He was such a cool model though to paint, I gotta say.
Like his beard was doing everything.
Yeah. That's why you get started in all these Viking movies. and
Yeah,
stuff.
exactly.
He looks like a Viking.
We're almost done with the general sensation of him, and then I can just focus on the chest area. Look at people going crazy with their damn movies.
Yeah. I haven't watched many movies lately. I watched another documentary yesterday.
Mm-hmm. I'm getting hungry. I thought that I would not get hungry. But I'm
Yeah, me
getting
too, man. I was like, what the fuck?
hungry. Yeah, I know.
I ate so much. I was so full for so long as well. Thought I had outwitted my stomach. But alas.
Okay, dokie, let's go into the chest area. Even though it might not be 100% correct, I can't really back up. I'm seeing my reference at an angle. So far, so good, I guess, but
Yeah, I mean,
I overdid it. I should have worked a bit smaller, but YOLO it. It's just...
YOLO it. But YOLO it.
Oh no, what did I do? There's the chat. There you go. Now I can see poor Theo. How's she gonna do when he leaves? Who leaves?
Wilhelm.
Oh yeah, Wilhelm.
Who leaves? Who leaves? I can't believe this.
I wasn't ready. I'm trying to do everything. Yeah, it's gonna be
How are you
shitty.
going to do without Watson?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
He leaves. Nice. I will manage somehow.
When Wilhelm is here, the chat goes crazy. Yeah, he just needs to ask, like, what do you guys think about X? And then it's like, whoa! You go crazy.
He asking me? He asking me?
Oh my god!
Okay, let's work on the chest area.
Ay.
I really wonder if the Twitch, Twitter, whatever you call it, is gonna ban me.
Twitch, Twitter, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
But I want to make
They're
a little
gonna
bit of
ban
coffee.
you for that.
Oh,
Yes.
I might not hear you, Marianne, now, but I will try. Do you want some coffee as well?
What did you say?
Do you also want some coffee?
Yeah, sure. Can make me a coffee. I'm taking a break.
But I'm gonna take just a little bit. Do you want the whole coffee or do you want to
God,
split
my
it?
back just cracked. That was a good crack though. What? Yeah, it just cracked here. It's so painful.
Wow.
Wow. Yeah, there's my mug.
That's my mug.
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 My
Good,
mug.
make my coffee.
That's my mug.
Take my coffee. Make
Yeah, I'm
my
taking
coffee.
fucking coffee.
Faster. Jesus.
Yeah. I'm walking in backwards. And
Yeah, we'll try to
Can't you-
walk in speed motion, not slow motion.
I'm making like the coffee. I still need to wait over there. I'm making coffee right now. But are you sure you don't want to split it? So okay, but hey, don't.
Just make a whole one, it's fine. Use my, what do you call it, the Starbucks one. Not the filth that you're using.
What do you say?
The Starbucks one.
What?
The
Starbucks one.
Yeah, it's over there, next to the egg places thing. I can't
Isn't
speak
this the
anymore, I'm
really
getting
strong
tired.
Starbucks one?
Yes, coffee. Maybe Elon will rename Twitter, release
It's the
Starbucks
7.
course. That would be great. I'm just taking a break, everyone. Because then we're gonna get into the chat.
You're never gonna be a fine artist if you keep taking breaks.
If I keep taking what?
If you keep taking breaks.
Oh, I didn't hear what he said. He's in the other room. Excuse me. Let's sharpen the charcoal because we're gonna get into some.
Maybe
fun
Elon
stuff.
would rename Twitter and release Theo from this. Yeah, he'll name it Twitch as well.
Twitch, Twitter, whatever. That's gonna be the title.
Yeah, exactly.
Elon will combine everything together.
Into one big meta brain.
Yeah.
And we're all gonna live in it.
He will do something that what's his name from Facebook didn't manage to do.
Yeah, the metaverse. We're gonna be in the metaverse. We're all gonna be ones and zeros.
Exactly.
Oh, hello! 1011001101. How was your day? Wow.
Well, 0001110010111. Oh, okay.
101101 was a bitch today. Oh my god. Or everyone is just gonna be called by their username. It's gonna be like, well, Sasuke Lover 57 said this. Oh.
So this is the charcoal is against me. So right now, this
What did you
layer that I added on, when I go with another fresh layer on top of it, the charcoal comes off. So this is when you need to like move the charcoal around. It's really tedious, like I said. Sometimes it goes so smooth. But we're also working on white paper, and usually when you're working on tone paper, it's a bit easier than white. Damn it, it's so hard to. And we're also doing a master copy, so I'm kind of copying a little bit of his style in it.
Be right
Yeah,
back.
the coffee is over here.
Yeah, I got this one long time ago from H&M and I love it.
What did you get from H&M?
This one. Yes,
Oh.
I have it since I was maybe, I don't know, 23 or 22, something like that. It's an
Oh.
old one.
なるほど。なるほど。
He brought it. I have the coffee.
You have
So
the
now
coffee?
I'm trying to figure out where I want to work. I think I'm gonna go everywhere, just so you guys know. I can't be stuck at one area. I have a way of like moving myself around, like Benson said. I don't want to get stuck on just one area. I want to bring it all together at the same time. Marianne, can you talk about automatic drawing? Because that's something I always misunderstand how to explain it exactly. Like you're trying to draw in a different way all the time, or can you explain a little bit more about it? I think Marianne disappeared.
Where did he come from? Where did he go? Where did he come from? Marianne Vasile.
Catman Joe.
Oh,
Oh,
it's a scream.
a trumpet.
Oh, he said BRB, okay.
Aha, okay.
All I could hear was this loud scream.
I love the fact that people hears things that I don't. Thank you. They will start saying, "Oh, someone called you, Theo." Like, really? There was a ghost. So yeah, I think I always like working from the shadow shapes towards the light. And I think this music we're listening to goes really well with this.
It would be great to also hear it.
He not lives anymore. Maybe he lived like he left. What's going on
I'm
with
back.
Oh, hi.
There he is.
Välkommen tillbaka. What is the time? 2013. Jesus.
I feel like we've been gone for a long ass time though.
You guys want me to finish this drawing on the stream as well?
Of course.
It's gonna take a while, that's for sure.
Where did you come
Oh yeah, I love tapping. This is something I enjoy doing. I'm a tappy girl. Because when you tap like this, you're pretty much taking it off. So you can get really nice softness, and you can also push the charcoal in. It can be annoying because you can take off too much, so then you need to come again and fix that. I don't know, Georgia, if you're still on the stream, I kind of like when I have a little bit of a roughness to my charcoal. So, I don't know what paper I can suggest for you that can take charcoal.
I don't think if you want to work smooth, there's nothing better than Mikan, because on the Roma paper, it gets way too, I don't know, airy.
Yeah,
You can't really get there. It's a lot more textured.
Theo,
And
I
there's-
purposely... Oh, sorry, Maria, continue.
There's some other papers like the Academia from Fabriano that can take charcoal, but the problem is that you can't push your darkest darks with natural charcoal. By the way, your battery is dead.
I'm already on it.
Yeah,
Thank you.
she's working.
Continue, Marian.
Yeah, I mean, you can use academia, but the academia paper doesn't really, you can't get those darkest darks really dark with charcoal. And that's a bit annoying. And I've seen some people on the internet using Strathmore, but since that's an American paper, I never got to try it. So might order some this
Yeah.
summer.
Christina said something. Theo, are you purposely waiting to put the Terminator? If so, why? I love working. I mean, this is already something finalized by an artist, so I'm trying to mimic that softness he's having in his drawing. So I guess I have the core shadow. I can see it here in his drawing. And also this image is a bit pixelated. It's not the best image to work from. But I'm just trying to get that blur effect before I commit to details. I can see that I have some errors here and there, but for the sake of it, we will have to just deal with it. Yeah. Fabriano Academy. I haven't tried that one. And yes, we always listen to Skyrim.
The thing is, students from Florence and Barcelona only use the Roma paper. It's also Fabriano, but it's not the Academia one. So the Academia, I mean Academia, the brand of paper, not like Artistico. I'm not sure that's what they're using.
I need to show
Might
you
be.
guys something. Marianne, 1 second. I don't know if you guys can see it. Let's say here. So you see how this part here has become quite flat and gray? The thing is that this part here was built up with soft charcoal. So now I'm using a harder one. So what the hard one does, you see it stomps down. So you have the soft layer, so the hard one kind of scratches it and pushes it into the paper, which kind of softens it more and also goes in between the tooth of the paper. Then I can turn it around. So right now I'm almost scratching the surface. I don't know if you guys can see this, if my camera does it. Because I'm trying to get this part as flat as I can, and I think my camera is also exaggerating a little bit the contrast. It's not as dark as you guys see it. So now I'm starting to push even more. So I'm raising up, like I said, I kind of like going from, because my darkest dark was where the wee wee is. So now I found a very good local value where I can actually start pushing more. So I'm using more of a harder charcoal. This piece in general does a very good job. Like I said, I'm using more willow charcoal. So I need to try out different pieces to find the right one that does what I wanted to do. And since charcoal is one of my mediums, I kind of know what does what. Sometimes I get tricked, because all of a sudden the charcoal can become a soft one, and then I need to put it aside and find another one that's a bit harder, because the willow is a little bit like that. It's not very consistent. I've had the nitro as well. And
It's vine.
vine.
It's not good.
Vine, sorry. Yeah, I think graphite does the same. Yes, wee is an artist term. And I'm not getting into details yet, or I might do it in some areas. What's happening right now, if I'm trying to analyze my thoughts, I'm trying to get to know the model a little bit more. I'm figuring out what areas and how I should do them, how should I approach them, how to soften them, how to get the right gradients. So everything in my head is like a consistent little motor going in circles, trying to figure out what I'm supposed to do. So it's always good to have a monologue with yourself when you're doing this work instead of reading the chat. Ugh. I think that's one reason Arthur Gaines said that usually it takes more time when you're doing things on stream because you're communicating with people, which I think it's fine. I like it. I like you guys. You guys are great. Yeah, you can do that. Sponge, you can use whatever, and then yes, you go into layers. Nitro is okay if you have a right surface. Yeah, I understand that too. Notice me, senpai. I notice you, Glenn. Do you use a stump with your application at any point in time in the duration of the drawing? I am not a fan of stumps. I had a student that was so into stumps, which is Kale, but I never got it. I'm still trying to figure out how to use it. Maybe when I use details, like you said, yeah, sure. Then I guess I can. But I have to say I love rendering from the shadow towards the light when it comes to pencil and all of that stuff. I always try to leave the lights as clean as possible before I go for it, if I can say it like that. And also this is on toned paper. Like you guys can see from the model, he used some white chalk here and there. We'll see how we will design this because we're working on white paper. Like I said, it's all about getting the right values and making it work.
Yes.
Are you following the artist intent?
What?
Yeah, that's true, Christina. Who's gonna tell me that? Are you following the artist's intent or you're trying to get yours too? Meaning if you are doing a study of... Do I follow away? Yeah, Ocho. I'm trying to follow his intent. I'm trying to mimic him. I think it's kind of hard for me to explain it. I'm trying to steal. We have a saying in Romanian, meseria se fură. How would you translate this, Marian? Meseria se fură.
Meseria se fură.
Yeah, you're stealing their craft.
Yes. So I'm mimicking and just trying to figure out how they did it. Because his drawing, there's so many ways that it's hard to really do everything he did. Because I'm not him, but I can try to mimic and learn from it.
Yeah, and you don't have the subject in front of you, so you don't really know what he did.
Craft is being stolen, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, sorry, Bill.
No, I was gonna say, because you don't have the model in front of you either, you can't really see what he decided. You can try and understand what he simplified, right? But only to the extent what, like, how you would think the model looked, right? You get what I'm saying?
I do.
Yeah, but that's the whole point in doing a master copy. It's mainly you're learning ways of simplifying the model and learning how to key the light. Because one of the biggest mistakes that you see on beginning students is keying the light way too dark or way too bright, right?
Oh.
So what you
Well,
can see in these classical 19th century figures, they were keying them mid-key, all of them.
I have something that you gave me, Marianne. This is actually good that you brought it up when it comes to the lights.
Yeah.
This one. And you can explain a little bit what this means. Because this is one reason when it comes to what you said about the light being over-modeled is because people are trying to draw all the values they're seeing, so squinting helps with that. And if you're still enough, it means you get to wear gold. So Marianne, you can explain a little bit about the Lambert value. What does keying mean? Can you explain that, for example? Because a lot of people have issues with keying the drawing.
No, but I mean, the Lambert value is more like how light works in physics, and linear is more like how we logically think it works.
Oh, okay.
But it doesn't work like that. Like, it doesn't really... And pretty much, if you think in linear terms, you're going to overmodel pretty much everything. So you're going to put too much information everywhere. And the thing about how light actually works and how our perception works, because that's what I meant before when I was saying that when you're drawing from life, you're pretty much analyzing your own perception and using these abstractions as tools to interpret this visual language. So it's like our brain, when it looks at something, it looks at the highest contrasts. So it's pretty much like for example, when you look at another person, you look at the eyes, you look at the mouth, you look at, and not only because they have, you know, psychological meaning, but you also look at them because they have high contrast. The mouth has a strong occlusion shadow, and the eyes have like white stuff around a dark or a slightly darker thing, right? So it catches their eyes. So the thing is, whenever you draw something, you need to emphasize the things that your eyes are naturally drawn to.
Matching.
If you want to make it as, I don't know, as pleasant to look at as you can.
I mean, you will always... sorry.
I mean, you can say what you were going to say.
I'm trying to understand. So you're saying that you're talking about matching the values?
No, not necessarily, but I'm talking more about simplifying an abstraction. Like, for example, if you look at Rembrandt, or if you look at Sargent, the only thing that they have in common is that the further away from the highest point of contrast, the less information there is. Mm-hmm. So that's the thing that most great artists have in common. And the information is more simplified and almost disintegrating in the background. So you don't have that much noise. And there's some value to that. And I think that's kind of like the aim of the academic training, is to get to that. Or that's at least what I think it should be, the aim of the academic training.
So how do you think working from photos is affecting this?
I'd say it's pretty bad, because everything is already simplified by a device when you do that. And it also forces you, because the image can be very small or it can be very large, so it kind of like forces you to like when you look at the real thing, you look like an animal. So you look like you look at spots and pieces, right? But when you have an image on your computer, you can actually see it as a whole, and you only see sharp edges because, of course, it's right in front of you, and you can get closer to it, like really, really closer to it. And yeah, I don't know. Having a bad eyesight actually helps your edge game.
Yeah, but what you can do is just, it's like I said at the beginning, what you can do is just print out what you're drawing and just stick with that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's better.
Yeah.
Not ideal, but better. Yeah, what can you do? It's really expensive to work from life,
Yeah.
especially if you're drawing figures and models. But it's very important to do it when you get the chance, and if you're studying at an atelier, take full advantage of that.
Of the model.
Because it's the best thing about them, about those studies.
I'm not checking the chat, everyone. Wilhelm, if you help me with that.
I'm here, yeah.
Yeah, so sorry.
I don't think it's photographer's fault. It's about the photographer who took the photo. Slightly bad side on my right eye. It's like to separate the elements in the way our brain perceive. I heard from Lambert law from Dorian Iten, but also I think it's very important to know the reverse square law to be aware of the fall of the light. Very, very known in photography, says Christina. In photography, you can also choose the appropriate illumination and depth of field to achieve the look. Interesting.
Yeah, that's true. But then again, this photography is a lot different from human perception. It has a bunch of technical aspects that our eyes are not really designed to perceive that way.
No, the lens, everything. No matter how much you try, like I see it in
Lens, aperture. I think aperture changes quite a bit. And even though our iris does sort of the same thing, technically it's not. I mean, technically it is the same thing. In reality, it's not.
But dude, the best example I can give is like when I photograph my artwork, I see a certain way, right?
Yeah.
The actual painting. And when I photograph it, the camera sees so differently than what I see. And that's one reason I hate photographing my paintings, because it's so hard to make it look the way I see it. It's so hard to explain. Like the camera captures the tiniest little detail that you don't really see it with your eyes.
Yeah.
The contrast is higher, subtleties in colors, and oh yeah, but you can use a very expensive camera. Yeah, I guess.
You can use a very expensive camera. I'm not sure an expensive camera would help.
No. Hasselblad.
Yeah. I mean, that would help to a certain degree, but then again, it still sees a lot differently than. But also, people don't understand that people who design cameras are not really into human perception and human sight. So they want to make it look as sharp as possible. It's the same as with having glasses, right? If you go to get your eyes checked, everyone tells you that you should see that far and you should see that.
Yeah.
Maybe not.
I was talking before the stream. We were talking with Hendrik about let's say HD screens, like high definition screens, and the way it moves, the amount of details shown in that image. That's not how the human eye sees. I think we were talking about Aliens, Alien Remaster, that you can see everything. And I think he said that he prefers.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, he said that he prefers more the old version where it's a little bit, let's say, noisy, right? Because again, look around you with your own eyes. You don't see 4K. Yeah, we don't see HD or 4K. We don't really see in that way, but that's because of commercial photography. The key is illuminated and the depth of field you go for. Yeah, I mean, for example, I didn't know about this, but you have something called bokeh. I had no idea what it was until I actually started looking into lenses. And apparently photographers want this bokeh. It's like this background that's super soft. And you can actually see it in paintings, this bokeh. It's so interesting.
It's not only the background that is super soft, it's also some lens shapes that appear where you have like highlights or stuff like that. So there's a bit of, because every single lens has different bokeh, right? Some of them have hexagonal shapes, some of them have like round shapes. So there's a bunch of different types that you can get.
That's interesting.
And it depends a lot on the aperture and the placement of the lens.
Sharpness, Christina said that sharpness or softness has nothing to do with the camera.
What?
Christina
Sharpness
said
or
that
softness
bokeh
has
is
nothing
just
to do with the camera. Yeah, it has to do with the lens, of course. But again, depending on how much and how big the resolution you have and what software you have on your camera, it does have to do with the camera as well. Because the software is processing your image.
You were talking about the Nikon versus the Canon. I was telling you, Marianne, that why am I seeing more ISO on the Nikon than on the Canon? It's because the Nikon I have, the resolution is huge, right? So I never thought about that.
Yeah. It's also when you have huge resolution, that means that those photosensitive cells are a bit bigger and they tend, but I mean not on your camera, but if you have a bigger resolution of all older cameras, the cells were a bit bigger and they would have a larger electromagnetic field, so they would interfere with each other. That's pretty much what that noise from ISO is. It's the interference between the cells that are receiving the light. So the smaller you make the cells, the better the resolution and the smaller the interference, theoretically. And there's some filters that it can apply, so it diminishes that.
My God, some people are too much into photography right now. I don't know what Glenn is writing.
What?
No, it's nothing. We're just having a conversation.
Yo, I'm so hungry.
Coffee! Wilhelm, go and make a sandwich. Just put the microphone down and go and have a sandwich.
One sec, sorry, I'm looking into something now as well.
Yeah, be careful, because you know if you don't eat, you get really low blood sugar. And what do you say, Marianne?
No, Alex Negra wrote the number of blades of aperture gives the shape of the bouquet. The more you have, the rounder it is. Yeah, that's pretty much it.
Well, Alex is into photography as well. I really love your photography, Alex. Do you have the Nikon, or which camera do you have? You're not into photography. Oh, I didn't know that, Christina. Good to know. What do you guys think about DSLR versus mirrorless? I get yesterday. I actually when I was going home yesterday, I was so busy that I forgot to eat. So when I got home, I didn't even manage to cook because I started feeling so ill. And I had to be on the couch for a while just to get back myself because I had such low blood sugar. Reply to Torsten or maybe wise words. Oh, I didn't know that you can reply to people like that. That's interesting. I have Nikon and Fuji. I don't do digital anymore. I went backwards to film. Oh, I have to say, I love the old black and white photos. Like the old ones. For some reason, they didn't capture like everything like the most cameras do right now. And I kind of like that. Yeah. Go and eat, Vil.
How do I mute this? I just press the button, right?
Yeah, just hold down and it will switch off.
Oh, you can mute it though.
Can you come a second? I think you need to push a button or something.
I think it's this button, isn't it? Wait, I just leave it here. I can just leave it on, I guess, and watch.
Yeah, you can do that.
Here in the corner.
Nikon Z. Yeah. That's really fun, Alex. I have a DSLR right now. It's punishing. Yeah. Marianne, you actually studied photography, right?
Studied it for a year.
What did you say? Sorry?
Studied it for a year.
Yeah.
But I'm not as much into it as I used to be.
Torsten. That's what I was referring to when I said long story. I had a low blood sugar, so I couldn't really explain all of that. Who's the artist that makes his own cameras? Love the look of the photos he gets. The fight is more... I'm not sure what you're referring to, Marcus. Who's the artist that makes his own cameras of the look of the photos? Oh, the artist! I don't know. I think Maria knows better. What are you doing here? Go and make a sandwich.
No, I'm toasting.
Oh, you're toasting it. Make sure you eat. I don't want you to
And
fall
there's a
down.
bunch of artists that make their own cameras.
That's how you get started.
And be careful with that.
Well, you're the one who never eats.
Yeah, let's not talk about that now.
Okay.
Need to take care of my slave.
Oh look, I'm over there. I'm in the picture.
Yeah, you are.
Hey!
It's so fun. I sometimes watch the stream and I can see when the light goes darker and darker and darker and darker.
Oh yeah.
It's really fun.
Time lapse.
Yeah. I agree 100% with Alex Negra.
What does Alex Negra say?
He said, whoever is drawing, I recommend picking up photography as a side hobby. I learned a lot about exposure and how to control the light in my illustration. I also learned how to be good at composing. I think full frames are completely unnecessary unless you're a super professional big format photographer. My God, Christina, you know a lot about cameras. What the hell? I don't even know what you said, but sounds cool. So funny how I'm working only on this area. It's so annoying that I have to move in front to look at the model and then go close and draw.
Yeah.
Yeah. I should figure out how to put my prints up so I can actually see better.
It's starting to come together. And you're only using Nitra. No, that's a Grumbacher.
Yeah, that's a
I was
Grumbacher.
gonna say, I can sense.
I know it has drawing errors, but it's for the stream, so it's fine. And Christina is over there like, no, it's not!
It's for the stream. I mean,
Get the plumb line! What did you say, Vil?
It's supposed to show the process.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Oh, Willem! Hello! Hello! It's not often I'm on camera,
Kawaii
but when I am,
Yes.
I'm dressed in all black.
Everybody loves the slave.
Yeah.
People will miss you. But you said that when you go study, if you have time, you will join the stream sometimes.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's good.
Jeremy Mann, that's who I was thinking about. Jeremy Mann! Does he make his own cameras?
Wait, what?
Yeah. He does.
Nice.
What?
That's kind of cool. Wait, I remember
How do you
reading a
even do
post
that?
about it. I thought that I did. Wait, like he's. Okay, never mind. I'm having a brain fart. Huh, 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 what, huh?
So you were asking about a painter, not a photographer.
Yeah, yes. Now I understand what
I forgot
Marcus
about
was
that.
saying. Mm. You kind of start appreciating toast when you're very, very hungry. It's like the simplest fast food. Well, fast, still healthy. Toast with butter and ham. Yummy. It's great. Camera's good. You guys are really going at it. I love what the chat is talking. Uh, I'm sorry, I'm gonna be in front of the drawing a little bit. Drawing because I made the shadow shape a little bit too thin. I'm trying to render it. Drawing is adjusting. You keep adjusting it. By the way, guys, we're gonna be a little bit bad with the chat. Wilhelm is eating and I'm gonna be focusing on the drawing. I'm deeply sorry. I will check on you guys, but when are you leaving for Bucharest, Marian?
In an hour?
In an hour. Okay.
Yeah.
Is it far, the train station, or are you taking the bus?
No, I'm gonna take a Uber.
An Uber? Really?
Yes.
Wait, how far is it from Iași, Bucharest, Iași?
Oh, are you talking about? Wait, no. I'm gonna take the train,
Okay, okay.
not the bus.
I was like, are you a
No.
millionaire or something? I was like, what?
That would be quite arrogant.
Uh,
I mean, it wouldn't be that expensive.
no? Okay.
I think a taxi ride from Bucharest to Iași is around 30,000 crowns.
3,000
Something like that.
euros.
No. Sorry, 3,000 crowns.
Okay, I'll be like, what the fuck? Are they feeding you gold or something for that? No, I'm not ignoring you on purpose. It's not my goal. No, I said that I won't be able to look at the chat. I think I will be so tired when I get home and I have to meet up someone tomorrow. We won the lottery and didn't say anything. Was thinking of the same. What? Lottery? What's going on? Who won the lottery? You're my best friend if you won the lottery. Share that money. So annoying. I'm making so many mistakes. This is a good memory drawing as well. Need to memorize. And also what drains my energy is standing up, moving back and forth all the time. That can be so draining. My feet hurt so bad. I'm like, I get home and I'm like, Henrik, you know how much I love you? And I put my feet up and I'm like, massage me. I remember going to like a masseur, like a professional masseur, and she grabbed my big toes and just cracked them, you know, like pushed them out of the bone and back.
What?
Yeah. Like they have a way of doing it. I was like, ow, ow, ow. It was so painful. That was a long time ago. It was great. Is this Wilhelm? Oh yeah, that is Wilhelm. What the fuck?
I don't want to talk, but...
No, you're very polite for doing this. Thank you.
Because I'm going to listen to the stream later and I will hear the sounds of me eating.
Uh-huh.
Very secure.
$20.51. Wow. Time passed way too fast, everyone. So, should we finish this on stream? I mean, it's gonna take forever. I might have to like...
It'll take forever.
well, I will have to stream every Thursday sometimes, I guess.
Well, you want some toast?
Yeah, I think we're gonna stop so I can actually have a sandwich before we go, because
I'll
otherwise
have
I'm
to
gonna...
stop for you, so.
Thank you. Otherwise I'm gonna crash and die somewhere.
What do you want, Will?
Damn it, I wish we had a...
Thinking I can do grinding paint ASMR and be sexy?
Who said
Hell
that?
Yeah.
What? Who said that?
Austin.
Ah, of course she did.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, everyone, let's just stop.
gonna
Maybe
be
you could
something
continue a little
like,
bit and stop when something interesting comes on. Next stream, I mean. Oh, Marius Bota, now he comes online.
Really?
Yes.
Oh, nice.
Marius! But let's see, Torsten and everyone else. Can you send me the master drawing? I will forget. Sorry, I will try not to forget. I was lurking. Nice. I'm joking if anyone is done.
You don't have to. Don't worry about it. You know.
What? You're joking?
Joking? Yeah,
I
that's
thought
a
Essie was
serious.
super serious.
Yeah.
Disappointing.
Hello, everyone.
So let's say that I'm going
Astrid.
to Romania for 3 weeks.
That's
I'm
gonna
gonna
be-
talk with Marian and maybe we will be able to do a stream together in Bucharest and maybe talk and have some fun with you guys. Again, I will let you know via Discord and Patreon, and then you just stay tuned on, what do you call it, Twitch, Twitter, that one over there, and we promote it.
Yes.
So I'm gonna stop, I'm gonna leave it, and we're gonna continue it together, okay? I will try and do my best. Wilhelm will have his exam in May, and let's see what grade he's gonna get. But I think he said that he's gonna try and be here during the summer, so people on Patreon, thank you so much for being a part of Patreon, because that's gonna help Wilhelm get the boat transportational system, because that one is awfully expensive right now. So summer is gonna be a bit on the budget side. So everyone, thank you so much. Huh?
We'll message you later for it, says Pete. And like, my OnlyFans? Oh my god, I'm fucking...
Bro, I gotta come meet y'all before Wilhelm leaves.
Yeah, Astrid! Come to the castle.
I got a friend from Netherlands and a friend from Germany coming, so we will be busy for sure. And I want to rent the car when Frank and when Torsten is here. I want to rent the car and maybe we can come and meet you as well. It's gonna be very fun. Don't worry about it.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, it's nice to actually end the stream a bit earlier than 9. Actually.
Marian, don't leave Discord when we end the stream. Can we just end it?
Do you don't want to host?
I'm so tired. I don't think I have energy for this.
Yeah, well, we can just end it if you want.
Yeah.
Look how big my ears are compared to yours. Look at that. Woo! Woo!
I think your ears are completely normal. Okay.
I think your ears are completely
Everyone,
normal.
this was a very fun stream. We will try to make it more educational from time to time. It's fun. I don't mind going through again with the figure and keep talking about it with you guys. It's a good reminder for me that I still have drawing issues. I still have a lot to learn. There's never ever, yes, the end. There's never the end when it comes to art. Okay. So we're just gonna end the stream. I'm gonna have a toast and then we're gonna catch the boat. The boat is at 9:35, so I have some time. Big ears here. Okay, Astrid, we're gonna see that. Marcus, was nice having you on the stream. I hope I will see you again soon. Everyone, Marius, Stevie,
Bye.
Alex, Torst, everyone. Christina, I can't say all the names, but thank you
I like
so
how Marcus
much.
just says bye Wilhelm. He's like, Theo is fine, but bye Wilhelm. I'm like, thank you. Appreciating you.
Okay.
Namaste, as we say.
Take care, everyone.
Bye.
Ciao.
Ciao.